What's going on, traders? Yes, I am ready to trade the market. I got my Nando shirt representing Spencer's big trade. If you guys missed that big trade yesterday, we'll talk a little bit about it right here on live trading, but you guys can take a look. Of course, go down in Benzinga's YouTube, take a look. Spencer's big trade. What is it? Let's find out. Welcome to Live Trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher. Choi.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
Of course, what Shermo said, I'm not coming on until I get 400 likes. Come on, guys. I mean, I need some likes to come on. Let's do this. Let's go ahead. Support the team, guys. It's absolutely free. Doesn't hurt you at all. Just look down and hit that like button, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's get it on up. Let's go. Let's go. Like buttons. Let's see if we can get to 300 before the bell today. We'll definitely talk about some stocks. But like always, one reason why we're a little bit late and why I have to come in here a little bit late is, remember, guys, I'm running pre-market prep. I have to do a whole bunch of production setup. So I just wanted to give you guys the insight on why we take a couple minutes in between pre-market prep and live trading. Let's go ahead. Let's bring on the guys. I think you guys will be happy to hear Ryan Faloona on here. But no. I'll tell you guys the real prize. Let's call out the real prize today. We got my man Zunaid back.
You guys are too kind.
Back.
You guys are too kind.
And just for some clarity, Zunaid expressed to Mitch and I in private that he was really disappointed in all of the viewers for the lack of likes that we get on a regular basis. So he decided to not show up for 2 days in a row.
That's
just to
what it
kind of
was.
see if that would make a difference. So let's welcome Zunaid back. Make sure you give him all the love, and let's get rolling here because we're about to make some money.
Let's do it. Appreciate you.
Let's go, guys. Definitely smash up the like. Let's get to the market. Let's see what's out there. What are you guys looking to trade? We got about 18 minutes to the bell, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screens. Looked like Zunaid beat me to it, so let's go to Zunaid here.
Yeah, taking a look at AMD. One of the things I'm not the biggest fan of is when like stocks kind of gap up a bit. I was really hoping that AMD would stick around the 128 area. So for now, I'm going to wait, kind of set an alert here for AMD to be around 128. I believe NVIDIA is above 250s last I checked yesterday. Yep. So going to wait and kind of be patient with NVIDIA to see exactly where we have at price action in the first few minutes. It looks like the 256 should be support. But I know, usually NVIDIA hasn't been too kind to me as of late. Overall, it's been very kind, but not as of late. So those are kind of a couple of stocks that I'm going to take a look at to be in the markets with. Now, Ford is another one where I think they had EV news. I was reading this morning. So when it comes to Ford, around $18 and around around $17.90, I'm going to look to kind of grab some longs there if I can, just to get a quick 10-cent scalp if I can. Going to take a look at that. And yeah, Aaron mentioned about CGC. For CGC, if we get a nice little run up, that would be cool. Maybe over around $8.25, but I'm not really expecting much on this one. But it is definitely going to be on my watch list to see how it goes. But that's the quick three stock breakdown.
Got you, man. I'll add to that CGC. So for you guys that are watching CGC today, I say you keep your eye on Tilray because if you take a look, that's what led yesterday. This led that move on up, and I think you're going to continue to watch that today to see if you get a move in CGC. I would be watching Tilray, and then ones that I also will be trading if they start making a move on up is Sundial. Sundial is at 55 cents. Yes, guys, I'm calling out a watch here for a stock that's at 55 cents here on live trading. We don't hide from stocks. We try to call them out, whether they're 50 cents, whether they're 100, or whether they're Amazon, $3,000. It doesn't really matter for us. We're going to touch them all here. So if you guys got a stock to take a look at, definitely throw it up in the chat. But Sundial today, I'm going to be watching because remember, I was looking at this back in this period in time. That's when they announced their repurchase agreement. And then they did kind of that repurchase during this time. Now you're starting to get back on up. We know how these stocks love to try to get to $1. The question is, if you start seeing a rip in CGC and Tilray, could Sundial move off of that? I think you could get some sympathy play off of that. Keep it on watch. We'll see what happens there. Now I'm going to really quickly run through my swing trades of the day. I do got some stocks to watch today, but I'm just going to run through the swing trades and let Ryan take on over. So the swing trades that have been working really well today, we're going to be looking to take some profit in American Airlines into this move. We're already at 18.46. This is a little bit under 10%. We're at like 9 something right now. We'll see how American Airlines performs today. But if we look up, we have like an A move, a B. I think you get a little push above this 850, but I don't think it's going to last. So I'm actually going to be selling out the swing trade into that move. Of course, CPI data coming out tomorrow, and I feel like that can affect the market way too much. So instead of waiting for something that I don't know which way is going to fall, I'm going to go ahead and take the profit that was given. JetBlue is another one that we'll be looking also to take some profit. We got in this one at 14.95 and 14.97. I have an average. Let's look for it to get back above this 15.88, maybe make a move to 16s. If I see some momentum carry it through 16, I'm definitely going to go ahead and just profit out there. That'd be another 10% winner on the swing trades, and you can't go wrong with that. ABNB is one that I'm keeping on, guys. Yesterday, we were a little pressured. We were actually in the red on this name. Now we're deeply into the green. We're going to look for this to continue to work. This is actually my best winning trade right now, and this is only on 10 shares, guys. Only on 10 shares of Airbnb, and it's actually one of my best trades. And I can tell you, I've taken plenty of trades this week with higher share size, higher capital in the trade, but this has been the best winner. We'll see what happens on Airbnb today. I'm going to look for it to continue. Of course, 160 on the downside would probably get me out. I wanted to kind of get a push. Right now, I don't have the biggest move here. We're talking about probably around 5%. If I could get up to like 8%, I don't mind taking the profits and just repeating, just trying to look for these trades, these 8%, 10% winners. I think that's the best way to approach it right now. Yesterday, we did take gold, and I'm still holding on a small size of the position. I took 2/3 off in the intraday, and I still kept a third here on gold. We'll see if this can continue pushing on up. This is not a bad trade. And 4 swing trades, all in the green. We'll see what happens. Going to Ryan.
All right, awesome. I was just looking at Airbnb here while you were talking about it, and I love that we've closed above this rather steep downtrend here. So giddy up. I think that's a great swing trade. The stocks that I'm going to be looking at today, got one here that has a buyout, right? So ticker ECOL, ECOL. This is U.S. Ecology. They were actually bought out by Republic Services for $48 per share. This stock closed at $28 yesterday. And while I'm not going to trade this, I'm not actually in this. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because this is an excellent sign to see for the trade that I talked about several times in Chara, right? So U.S. Ecology does environmental waste services, and they service power customers. Chara is the leader in power waste remediation. So the fact that ECOL got such a great buyout with such a nice premium is very, very a very, very good sign for the trade that I'm currently in. So although my company was not bought out today, I feel even better about my trade, and this is really interesting. The other cool part about this is that RSG actually reports earnings tomorrow. Republic Services, ticker RSG, they report earnings tomorrow. You can bet that I will be on that conference call to listen to any of the questions about this acquisition to see how that can kind of play into the trade that I'm in. So really, really good news to see that here this morning. Giddy up on that. DCFC, this is actually one that we talked about a couple of days ago. This was lit up the scanner. This was also halted yesterday. I guess the president asked this company, or had mentioned this company was coming to the White House. We had a great trading day yesterday, and we actually took out a lot of those levels here in the pre-market. So ideally, what I would like to see here is I'd like to see some expanding volume. If this can come into 1190-ish, maybe even a little bit less than that, 1170, 1160, and hold there, I think we actually make a run towards this $13 high. And this would be a day trade for me. This is not something that I would swing. I will be watching this though. I don't necessarily want to chase this. If this runs out of the gate here, I'm okay waiting for it to come back in and settle down. But if this does come in off the gate a little bit here, giddy up. That could be a real nice one too. Mitch, you guys, I think we're talking about ENPH. This another great earnings report here. Trading higher after better than expected Q4 EPS and sales results, and issued Q1 sales guidance above estimates. Maybe this will help some of the other solar names catch a bid today and go for a run. So these all very, very interesting names here for me today. The other one we're going to take a look at, I can't even believe I'm going to say it. Yesterday, I was stopped out of the PayPal trade. Of course, it traded back up into the close and then gapped up today, 122. My thesis here is still that this is a really good company. I'm trying to find the bottom. I got cut trying to grab that knife the first time. May try this again today. We shall see. The other thing that I'm watching in tandem with PayPal here is going to be Square, Block, whatever you want to call it. Looks like maybe they are finding a bottom here too, having a nice day here in the pre-market. So I'm going to be watching these two as well.
A couple of things to keep in mind with PayPal and Square is with Apple doing that tap to pay thing.
Yeah.
Especially if I haven't read the whole report, I'm not going to lie, but if it's a consumer thing, PayPal then has to worry about the Venmo side of it. If it's also going to end up being a business thing, then obviously you've got Square taking a hit there as well. So it'll be interesting to see what PayPal does, or excuse me, what Apple does with the rollout of tap to pay.
Yeah, and remember, quick note on that, actually, Block earnings come in a couple of weeks here, right? Let me go ahead and check this. We are confirmed for February 24th. So we're looking at about 2 weeks from today. We might actually hear about some of that, Zunaid, in that call. Yeah. That's 2 weeks away. So we got some time before that materializes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens in those stocks. I'm looking at Penn today. It already is getting a pop. And what? They put out positive catalyst going into the Super Bowl? Why would they do that? They try to get Bowl? They're trying to get this stock start moving, man. I can't blame them. If you can look the news up for me, Ryan, so that we can tell people about the news on Penn. I really wasn't even worried about really what it was, but I was just looking for positive catalyst to show on up. And I think this is really going to push DraftKings and Penn today. Keep your eyes on these. They did close really well. And if you look in the pre-market, they're already pushing a significant amount. I'd keep watching on these. But really, if you look at these gambling plays, I'd point out like a stock like this, IGT. Look how it's been making a 3-day move versus like DraftKings and Penn that you're watching that was making now just starting to get moving. So this one's showing more consistency in the move there. We'll see what happens. This one could pull back today, and maybe you see the kind of trend reverse where you see DraftKings and Penn start taking the lead versus a stock like this, IGT.
Yeah, Mitch, real quick, Penn was, our chatters got it here because they're a bunch of really smart and alert traders here. Susquehanna upgraded Penn to positive and raised the price target to $65. One of the lines out of there, Penn National Gaming gains after Susquehanna says Barstool business is set to take off. Barstool already seems like it is taking off. So if the analysts are saying that it's just set to take off, there might be a pretty big move here. And you know what? Later on today, we can actually go through some of these analyst ratings if you want, but let's not bog down with that right before the open here.
Let's do it. Let's keep looking at stocks and what could be trading. Of course, yesterday we saw basic materials and consumer cyclicals really lead. Now, one thing with the consumer cyclicals that I'm looking at is I think CPI data affects it so much, right? And so we're going to get CPI tomorrow. With that being mentioned, I'm a little concerned about that. We're getting a run into the number and then the number could knock us down. But of course, if we get a light number, maybe we get a push. So really right now, I'm just looking at trades to probably take into the move right now. I feel like we've had a push on up. I feel like we're going to get a nice little push in the SPY, and then we could get a real hurt in tomorrow with the CPI number. So just be careful right out the gates. I think you might actually even see some really good momentum right out the gates, but then be careful for that afternoon turnaround. Going into, let's say, 3 p.m. is where I'd be looking for the turnaround to really happen. I think you're going to get a spike right out the gates here because a lot of people are trying to kind of nail some profits. You maybe see some quick momentum here. That's what I'm going to be looking for out the gates. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. John says he's glad to have Zunaid back today. So definitely, you're getting some love out there.
Hey,
let's keep going out there. If you guys got some stocks, throw them up. Looks like Quantum threw up Microsoft there. Let's
How
take a
about we
look
do
there.
Disney and Uber next, since they report
Gotcha.
earnings tonight, Mitch?
We'll do. Lyft got a little destroyed there on the earnings. So I think on Uber, I think the bar is set low. So maybe you get a little push. Microsoft's trying to hold above 300s. Really, that's where the level of turnaround really happened. Remember, when we started dropping through these 300s is when the worry really started coming in Microsoft. As long as you hold the 200-day moving average, I'm still bullish on Microsoft. Could come back and take out the 315 on the upside. But I'm looking at it more like a swing trade here or an investment. Definitely on the daily, you could look for maybe a 310 breakout if you see the Qs just pushing up today out the gates. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. If you guys got a stock, throw it up in the chat. Looks like Data Dog. All right, but let's go to Disney first. Let's take a look. What could potentially happen with Disney today? Of course, Netflix, I feel like set the bar low. But can Disney even pass that bar, right? That's going to be the question today. And it's all going to be about subscribers. I don't think it's going to be about the parks. The parks numbers are not going to be the massive numbers to watch. I think you look at the subscriber numbers for Disney Plus. Did they get to their estimate? We'll see what happens. It all comes down to subscribers. We all know that Disney was a massive push in the pandemic with subscribers, and they reached numbers they didn't think they'd reach for in about 4 years. But then now you're seeing an extreme slowdown. We also saw that slowdown happen in Netflix. We'll see what happens if they report some bigger numbers. All right. Another one that you wanted to watch is Uber. Yep. We'll see how this reports today. I think the bar got set low. Of course, Lyft getting hit hard yesterday on their earnings. We'll see how Uber can kind of push today. It is making a little bit of a push right here, right out the gates. Lyft, I also saw, was reversing here. You can see here after hours, it was pushing on down, got down towards, let's say, even 11% here. And then now you're actually above those levels. So look to see if maybe Lyft or Uber starts pushing below 40s. You could be careful that you see some downside action in Uber. All right, guys, let's go ahead. What other stocks being mentioned in the chat out there? Looks like Shop, EMPH. We already talked about EMPH. Well, let's take a look at Shop. Shopify starting to bounce there, got back above 900 in the pre-market. If you look at the daily action, you got a lot of consolidation down here around the 818s. You got 3 bottom actions there. If it breaks down through there one more time, I would think it would break down big. But if you get back above 1,000, you could get out of this short-term bearish pattern. Shopify, I think you kind of keep an eye on how Amazon's performing. Amazon's been coming back pretty strong. You need to get back above 3,400s to get back above that 200-day moving average, where I'll really start thinking Amazon's back into the green. Look for Shop to kind of catch that bounce. And I'd also look for Melly to kind of catch that bounce. But of course, I'm looking at Amazon as the leader. You guys got a stock you guys want to touch here in the chat?
Roblox.
All right, let's go ahead.
RBLX. I got
take
one.
Control, man.
This actually looks like a pretty good bottoming formation here for me. I love to see that this really kind of capitulated into a low. Buyers stepped back in. We didn't retest that low. We actually made a higher low, and now we're kind of compressing in this triangle. So I'd like to see a move out of this formation. 70, 75 would be great on this for a bounce. Really like Roblox. Again, I know some of these companies really took a hit recently. This is super popular. Every weekend that I go to Costco, there is a gaggle of kids around the Roblox gift card display. So I like this one. I think this could bounce here.
Yeah, man, the Metaverse, man. I'm actually taking a look deeper and deeper to understanding the Metaverse, guys. So look forward to seeing some more content on Benzinga's YouTube about the Metaverse. One thing is NFTs, but that's just I think the start of what the Metaverse really consists of. It's all about digital economies, guys, and that's really where it goes into. So keep your eyes on that story. You guys know how I like to be all about the story. Story is everything for me. So let's go ahead. We'll keep a watch. Stocks in the chat that are interesting. MGM reports today, so I'll go with LVS here. So MGM, I think, has already made the move into the earnings. Look at this 4-day move already, about 11%. I think this is one of those, they bought into the earnings, and now you're going to see maybe the earnings just not being able to push it higher. I would actually look for this to retrace But that's just because I feel like it's already made the run. MGM, let's look at LVS. Las Vegas Sands also doing a little bit of a run into this. We'll see what happens on this one. Of course, guys, Las Vegas Sands, not in Las Vegas. So if you're thinking that this is a Las Vegas name, it's just a trick, guys. It's a trap. It's a trap, like they say.
Daniel here is saying he's going to drop a low-key Metaverse gem on your Discord. Drop it in this chat. Why are we talking about some other Discord? Drop it in this chat. If this is your boy, Mitch, make him drop it in this chat. Come on.
Yeah, I got you guys. I mean, one of the things is the metaverse is really early too. I think that a lot of people try to focus on it like it's like a this year type of play. And no, this is the year when you start making the underlying technologies behind the metaverse really take off. And a lot of this has to do with cryptocurrencies and NFTs. So understand underlying assets. I think that's the important thing to learn here.
Yeah. Good luck, everyone. Here we go.
Let's do it, guys. Let's look for some pops right out the gates to look to sell into some of these swing trades. I'm watching AAL right now. It's fighting to try to get back above the 1850s. If it can push above there, that'll be a nice little push. I'm going to put a 6 charts up here just so I can put my swing trades on up and keep an eye out on some of these trades here. LAC did have a really good day yesterday. We did day trade that, so keep that one on your radar.
CGC strong here out of the gate. I know we talked about it here right out of the open. That one's strong. You know, an honorable mention as far as cannabis names. I really like GRWG. I traded it short term. I wish I didn't sell it. I kind of got shaken for it. Looking to actually build a longer term position here. GRWG.
All right, guys, calling out a refining play. We know oil went down yesterday, but I feel like you get a pop today. Alto is one that I'm going to call out. ALTO is a $5 stock. So you guys that like those cheaper plays, take a look at that one. All right, JetBlue looks like it's trying to get back above 16. We're going to see if it can get back above here. It went towards a high right out the gates of 1592. I might look to sell right here if it get popped into the 16s.
I'm also going to try to keep an eye on the options and see if there's anything interesting coming in, especially with NVIDIA and AMD kind of being hot from yesterday. Keep you guys posted if I see anything.
Option sweeps on Penn, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. The 53s?
Sorry, I actually just took it off my screen. I'm
no
sorry.
Worries. But while you bring up Penn here, I guess if you want to put it up on yours, Mitch, $50 is a level.
Yes, it was the 53s. Good call, Zunaid. See, you know what you're doing out here. I should have just trusted you.
Well, no, I'm glad you called it out because I definitely didn't see it. But that when you mentioned Penn, then I saw the 53s. But yeah, expect 50 to be resistance. There's no question about it. So here's a game plan on Penn. And someone interrupt me if you got a trade. Let's wait for the if you want to hear. Let me. Ooh, this is cool. I get to do this. Bang! Look at that.
Yeah, you can handle
crack a 50 and then a retest of 50 is where we then go long, right? So that's what we'll kind of wait for. We'll see if it can break 50 and then we'll, if you want, you can grab a little bit, but don't get too crazy with it. Maybe risk $1. Then when it comes back to retest 50, then you can add some more size and then $49 we can kind of go from there. I'll throw yours up now.
You're good, man. I'm about to sell into this JetBlue move. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking to sell into these moves, so that's what I'm focusing on, guys. If you guys want to focus on some newer trades, definitely. I'm focusing on trying to nail these swing trades for us. DKNG, look at this 4 bottoms on the 1 minute and then just rips through the VWAP. I'd look for a VWAP bounce trade on that one. That's looking really strong out the gates. I think it might even be stronger than Penn because it's kind of like reacting to the Penn news versus it already ripped into pre-market. So nice little VWAP look right now at 2242s. It went down right now to 2245. Order out to sell into JetBlue here. It's in the 1590s. I have an order out at 1609 to sell there. Airbnb is pushing on up at 167. Is going to look to sell into the 169, 170 resistance into that one.
VIX on a 20 handle, so VIX really getting kind of pounded here some more. PayPal continues to sell off out of the open here. Man, has this been a tough trade. Still no position.
I am now seeing here. Let's see what's going on with NVIDIA.
Dollar Tree, big rip on Dollar Tree if you want to take a look at that.
How's Tesla doing this morning? Man, we talked, gosh, 940. We talked about this yesterday. Every time it seems to dip under 900, did it 3 times yesterday for the total of what looks like 7 or 8 minutes. It loves to bounce. We're up 40 points from that low that we put in just yesterday.
Boom, VWAP bounce. Perfect trade there on that DraftKings. Tesla, we'll see if it closes on that right there. That's the line right there. Look at that.
All right.
Perfect.
I'm gonna
VWAP
go ahead
bounce
and
trade.
grab a contract here on Nvidia. I'm gonna grab the 260s for this week. 260 calls on Nvidia for this week. I got filled at $2.86 and $2.91. Now, this is going to be a riskier trade. Why? Because I'm hoping that this goes above VWAP and closes the 10-minute candle, which we have about 5 minutes left. The closer you get this to 254, the better your risk reward is going to end up being, which is why I'm going to grab a smaller size here. And if it comes down a little bit, then I'll grab some more. But the break of this 254, or excuse me, the 253, I will be out.
All right, and Mitch, I just noticed on my scanner a lot of your reopening names popping up there. The airlines, the cruise ships.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy this morning, guys.
It's all good, my man. Trying to look out. BBI showing up here, but really not worth it at the moment.
All right, big turnaround there. I'll look for Airbnb to catch the VWAP bounce trade right here. So that's the VWAP bounce trade. I'm not taking this trade because I'm already in it, but I just want to draw it out there for you guys to see how intradays kind of also help me look at the swing trade, right? And so if it can catch an intraday strategy like a VWAP bounce trade, that's what I'm going to be looking for Airbnb to do, the continuation through that 168.25. We already said 169 would get us out. Looking for VWAP bounces in JetBlue and American Airlines. They're literally right at that level. We'll see if it can get back above the highs. Rejection between the lows on the 1 minutes are going to get me out. Battling today.
Yeah, you had Nvidia come down to the levels, and I was able to grab another contract at $2.59. But it's not looking pretty as it's still under VWAP, but we've still got about 350 left to go in this 10-minute candle here.
Hey, Webcoin, let me know if that VLDR starts moving. I'm also keeping an eye on that one. And of course, SOPA. You missed that one yesterday, Zunaid. SOPA.
Was it fun?
Yeah, man. Take a look. SOPA.
I'm taking a look. It's down 20% right now. Would you guys play alongside or?
Yeah, we were looking at it alongside. We didn't get an entry, but we were looking at it for sure, and it definitely halted while we were watching it and stuff. So
I got you.
We were breaking it down. It was a mover, that's for sure.
Oh, it definitely was. It should be a fun one here too. Yeah, $3 really. Look at the pre-market on that one. $3 held really well. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up here on mine. Let's pull it down and boom, $3 right there held pretty well. So if this comes down, that ends up being your support to kind of base your trade off of.
All right, guys, keeping an eye on the overall market. We're getting VWAP bounces, DraftKings, JetBlue, American Airlines, Airbnb. Keeping an eye on all these right now. I'm thinking if we get one more big rip into these moves, and I'm going to be looking to sell into these swing trades as we take, 3 close to 10% winners. Let's see if we can get this.
All right, you've got Nvidia now. You're back at break even. So if you grab the calls closer to the 254, you should be in the money by about 30 to 40 cents. But if you grab them early on, you're about at break even. So manage your risk. If you're uncomfortable, sell some size maybe if you want to. But we are battling VWAP right over here on NVDA.
And for SOPA, for those that are looking for another run at SOPA here, 381 seems to be the spot. We take out 381, that we're going to be in the gap that we had here. And it looks like we might want to kind of trade back up towards that 460 level. So some movement there if we can end up clearing out 381 on SOPA.
All right, guys, getting another trigger here. OSW, that is spas on cruises. OSW. It's One Spa Holdings is pushing pretty well there. Looks like we're going to get that push there in our stocks here for airlines here and DraftKings. Look at DraftKings pushing there, man. Nice little VWAP trades there. If you got DraftKings, look at that right off the VWAP. Perfect. Nice looks there off VWAP. DraftKings pushing on up there. You could have got both VWAP bounces out the gates on the 1 minute and 5 minute was actually really pretty. Multiple bottoms in the 2240s. You could have been getting in there at 2255s looking for the push. Here's the push in JetBlue that I've been looking for. Let's see if we can get into the 16 so I can sell into that. I also have an order out for Airbnb there. Let's see if we get filled there. I have it out at 168.80s here. Got to a high of 168.60s. Looking for that push into 169 to sell into the move.
Somebody's got a little speculative position. And Ryan, you tell me if you see this, but I'm seeing buying in the 240s on Facebook for the weekly calls. 240 strike. Stock's at like 227. So I don't know what's going on there. But I mean, you have Twitter, I think, reporting earnings later today, I believe it is, or sometime this week, I think they do. But interesting action in Facebook in terms of the option side.
That was this week's.
This
11th?
week's 240s is what I'm seeing on the call side.
I see these too. 695 of them, right at 52.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another alert for us, guys. L Pro alert, guys. You guys know I've been watching these credit service stocks. I've been calling this one out from the bottom there, looking strong here through 19. That's the pullback level that I'd be watching, 1902, 19. And look how it's pushing there through the 1928s. We'll see if it can continue making the move. That's a view out bounce type of trade.
Real quick, Zunaid, I also see some at the 225 strike also for this week. Those a little bit pricier, obviously at 525 a contract. But when I look at the chart, ripped right through 225. That looked to be the spot at the start of this last pop here. So definitely some interesting stuff here in Facebook, without doubt.
All right, Airbnb near the high of the day. I'm looking for one last push to sell into, right, guys? So the 3 rule, right? So we got 1 push, 2 push. On this last push, I'm going to go ahead and sell out on Airbnb, taking over $100 winner on 10 shares. Let's see it.
And real quick, let me throw up my screen here. Interrupt me if you guys have something, but I kind of want to give some more color to what Zunaid was talking about here. So let me make this a little bit easier for you folks to see, and I'll show you what I did right when Zunaid asked me that. So oops. Oh, that by the way, that bug's going to get fixed. We'll talk about that some other time. So Zunaid was asking about the calls in Facebook, and you had mentioned the 240 call, was easily able to find that here. But one of the other things that I was able to discern strictly from looking at this chart is that it turns out that there are a lot of sweeps in this particular strike. In the 211 strike, in fact, the 211 expiry, which is this week's expiry, we have a bunch of different sweeps here. In fact, we just got another one here at the 225 again. So they're hitting the 225, the 230. There's even some in the 227 and a half.
I'll grab the 225.
And that 225 is the at the money, or was at the time of the trade at the money in these. So you could see here, there's clearly some interest in Facebook to the upside here. Volume over open interest measurement, not outstanding, but this is a very, very liquid name, so that's not alarming here to me. The big takeaway here, they're hitting a lot of these different strikes, hitting quite a bit.
Yeah, I went ahead and grabbed I went ahead and grabbed the 225 calls on Facebook this week, expiring. I got it filled at $4.60. If it breaks VWAP, which let's just call it, if it breaks 225, I will look to get out. So the closer you get it to there, the better your risk reward. But 225 calls, Facebook, weeklies, got filled at $4.60.
And so if we take a look at the chart here and we take a look at those strikes that we just talked about. So I put my cursor on 240, right? That was the highest strike that we saw. And they went all the way down to the 225 strike, which is right where the price was at. So if you take a look at what's going on here graphically, this is they're thinking, oh, well, this is probably a regression towards the mean, which we had February 4th, 5 days ago. That's of course, that's what, Friday, right? Today's Wednesday. Yep. So that was Friday, right? So we were right about at 240 in the after hour session, right near 240 at the close on Friday. And it seems to me that they're buying up all these strikes in between, maybe not all of them, but several of them in between, trying to play for that upside move. 244 was a resistance line that we had actually drawn on here. And that had to do with this gap that was previous support. So a lot of this stuff actually makes sense to me in this Facebook trade. You guys know, I don't like trading Facebook, but Zunaid, that's a killer spot here, and I think that there's a lot that also goes towards your trade plan.
Appreciate it. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and take an exit on the NVIDIA contracts, about half of size at $3.05. It's about a 10% gain. I'm still holding on to half, but half of it is out as it goes ahead and tests 256.50s.
All right, looking for one last pop here in JetBlue and American Airlines. American Airlines is up to 1865, was looking into the 19. So if we can get into the 85 zone on that one, I'll take the profit on American Airlines. JetBlue, I'm looking for a pop above 16 to take profits on that. Airbnb, I just took profits into that move at 168, was looking for a move to 169, and I put an order out at the 80s in the high of the day there, 168.96. nailed that Airbnb. Let's see if we can nail a JetBlue and American Airlines here.
GRWG coming back in a little bit. That would be great. If I can get this closer to 8 on a swing, I would absolutely do that. Unsure if I'll be able to do that today, given the strength of some of these other cannabis names. Well, they do look like they're coming back here. Watching the scanner here, haven't really seen much. Yeah,
Careful, guys. Starting to see a little bit of a dip here. Taking a look
Yeah,
at the
SPY's
SPY.
still hanging above VWAP.
SBEV. That's Sierra Bravo Echo Victor. Looks like it's trying to take out yesterday's high right here at 517. 517 looks to be the spot on SBEV. We had an exclusive story on this recently.
Richard, I'll review the percentage gain on Airbnb in a little bit. I just don't want to take a look at that right now. I'm trying to nail these trades, but I got you, Richard. I'll review it.
Tom, looks like you're starting to scale into an AMC SBEV. Pop through that 517. Here we go, folks. I got a high. Hold on, Tom. We'll get back to AMC in a sec. I got a high print here of, give me that high print, 524. So nice little pop there. I actually think this goes higher and takes that high out. Tom, you were saying you're scaling into an AMC short. Did I get that right? Looks like it's trying to bounce here. I guess you're kind of playing for a fade here on AMC. Good luck, man.
All right, now we're getting those pops in American Airlines and JetBlue that I was looking to sell into. So now I'm going to start going, and I have my hand on the trigger here. Just want to go ahead and try to see if it can get on up there. So what I'm putting in right now is I'm putting a limit on the -3, but looking to see if the momentum continues. I did see a lot of volume stack up there at the 16. Don't want to see it break through 16 right now, but giving it a quick second for that extension. AAL got to 1870s. We're looking for 1880s on that. It's getting close towards that profit take. That's over 10% winner on American Airlines. We're getting close to 10% on JetBlue right here.
Pen through 50, Mitch.
I'm keeping an eye on those. I wish I could be like Dennis and trade 100 trades at once. I can't.
Yeah, me too.
Can't do it yet.
He's got to be algo trade at that point, right?
No, believe it or not, what he does is he just risk manages right out the gates, and then he looks into his winners. So he's not even looking at his winners. He's looking at his losers first, fixing that first, setting up the balance of the day. And then once he sees himself really start taking off, he feels he has the trend, boom, he starts nailing out some profits. First thing's risk management, then profit take.
And then
it'll be fun to watch his stream.
Does finger and wrist warm up so he can click stuff really fast.
I'm over here like with 3 trades. I'm like,
How are you like?
Ah.
There we go.
Real quick, I'm gonna grab one more.
Sorry,
I'll grab one more contract on that Facebook call. The 225s went ahead and got filled at $4.15. It's right near that risk part for me at 225. Break at 224, I would look to get out. NVIDIA, this is why we wanted to get out half size, because now it has come down a little bit. We are now down 10% on the NVIDIA contracts. So we sold some up 10%. Now we're down 10%. Still going to hang in there and see what happens. SPY above VWAP. Hopefully that starts to trigger some long side.
Question here from Chris. Is the unusual option activity included in Benzinga Pro? Mine doesn't give me access. No, it is not included in the initial subscription. This was a feature that was developed.
Out JetBlue. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What was it?
Just out JetBlue.
Out JetBlue. This was a feature that was added upon request from clients just like you that we actually had to purchase another data feed for in order to develop. There's a lot of work that went into it. As a result, there's another charge. But if you have like a 10% off coupon on your subscription, be aware that that coupon also counts to the add-on. So you'll be able to get double dipping on the savings there.
All right, guys, SPY breaks 455.79 here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of these swing trades here. The only ones I still have on right now are gold and AAL. I just got out of that JetBlue position. Not a bad winner there. Let's go ahead. Let's focus in here. American Airlines just got just below where my profit take I wanted. So I'm watching it right now to see if it's going to start breaking down. SPY breaking down there or trying to wick underneath that 455.79. I'm keeping an eye on it. I need to see this candle close below that to show me that we're starting to reverse.
Dan Gundlock says, don't forget that the CPI is coming out tomorrow, so don't get all bulled up. First of all, I love that phrase, don't get all bulled up. I'm going to clip that and reuse it. Thank you very much for that. Any relation to Jeffrey? Probably not. But in any case, you're absolutely right. Mitch actually brought that up this morning. The CPI number could be very, very important tomorrow. And I think that this is really good advice. If you are starting to build a swing, plan for whatever you see tomorrow in either direction. We don't know what's going to happen. But have a plan for either direction, because that could have stuff around. Really, really good observation there.
So you guys see here my SPY candle, you see how it wicked there below that 455.79, and then you actually close back above there and open the next candle above that. That to me still keeps me in the bullish trend on the SPY. It needs to completely break it and close underneath that level. So if you could even draw a wick on those, now you have 3 to kind of draw off of those wicks. So look to see if it breaks to 455.70. If not, we could come back and just take out the highs here. We'll be paying attention to see if we can get some bounces here.
KAVL busting out of the 179 and went all the way to 185. So that took out high a day and popped on volume here. Not in that. Noticed it a little too late. Would wait for this to reset up, but KAVL might be one we want to watch today. Tom says AMC short over 17 is free money. I get nervous when I hear stuff about free money, but it has absolutely worked the way that Tom has said so far. So good stuff.
All right, keeping an eye on gold. We're at 1990s. Want to see it get back through 20s. It did get towards a high of 2018 today, but it hasn't wanted to get back up there. Watching the 5-minute trade on that one. Gold, look for it to hold that VWAP. I'll show you guys that trade right now. If you guys were taking this on the intraday, I'm just taking an intraday look because I'm already in this name, but I would look for this to kind of hold out and then get back on up there. So maybe a quick little pullback towards the VWAP and then right back up through the highs. It already touched VWAP once, so look for it to kind of hold that again.
Risk management is the name of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of my Facebook contracts here. I am at a loss by 15%. So taking the L there. And the NVIDIA trade looks like that one's not going to quite work out as well. I'm going to go ahead and take a loss there on NVIDIA. So that's a 15% loss to the downside. We did have a 10% gain on NVIDIA, but overall down about 5% on the NVIDIA trade.
Out
so
American Airlines. Sorry.
Just want to
make sure that I
and
get
Mitch
it out
is out
quick.
American as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're getting this big drop here in the SPY here. Of course, guys, no confirmation yet, but look how the SPY started reacting there. I talked about that level. We got back above it. Now we're flushing right back through there, and that's when I start getting out. I gave it a chance there to get the VWAP bounce there for American Airlines. This is left chart right here, and it didn't catch it. It started breaking through the support. I'm out there at 1841. Not a bad trade there from 1704. All right, guys, completely out of my swing trades except gold here. So now I'm going to just focus in on maybe taking another swing trade for the day. But for right now, watching this gold to see if it's going to take out the 1980s on the downside. That would get me out even in gold. I'd still be in the green, but I'm looking for it to get through 20s today. We'll see what happens.
MITQ, definitely this one is moving here. Looks like we've got a catalyst for this. Company reported Q2 EPS sales results that were higher year over year. Normally it's been the guidance that has carried these plays here. I don't have any context on the guidance here. This one I would just scalp. I would be wary of this for the long term, but having a nice day so far. So good shout there, Luciana. I actually didn't have this one on my radar, so I'm a little late to the party on this one.
All right, real estate having a good day today. Industrials also up. Waste management, trucking. So take a look at some of those. One that I called out yesterday that did well was Ryder. Had a good day yesterday. Going to keep a close eye on it. Yesterday this was this move, guys, that you guys see here from the 8th. It's a nice move. It was about 2 or 3%. Now it's continuing. It actually gapped on up and keeps pushing. Why is this moving? I think a lot of that is based off that USAK move that is just monsterly ripping right now. Guys, we pointed this out on day one. Look where it's at now. This thing is straight ripping, guys. It's up about 14% just even from that look, let alone from the rip. This is up about 22%. USAK definitely leading there. Other trucking stocks you guys can keep on watch. Let's take a look here. What is moving today? PTSI. Give this one out. Look at this chart. Look at the daily chart. Yeah. Nice daily chart pushing on up there. That's not a 1 minute chart. That's a daily chart, guys. Nice looking chart there. TFII is another trucking stock that's having a good day today.
You've got SPY below VWAP now on the 10-minute.
Yeah, market turning around here.
Yeah, I'm glad I started pointing out at least some numbers here. And the big level for us now is 455.79 on the upside. If it gets back above that, I'll look for upside moves. For right now, I'm looking for downside moves or gold to kind of get a push here because there's a market coming down.
Oh, well. Look at our friend Facebook. Yeah, well, that's I feel the same way about you if I could, sir.
What did Facebook do to you? Where did it hurt
Facebook.
you?
So if Facebook shook me out, I think it's the third time I've been shaken out by Facebook. Screw you. Anyway, Facebook shook me out. You can see it tested the 224s, and now it's right back above at the 225s. Maybe I should have just trusted the whales that were buying. Ugh, whatever. But anyway.
BKKT seems to be getting some attention here this morning, pounding highs on volume, higher volume than we had yesterday.
Jim says he loves the overall market
go.
sentiment updates. So I'll keep doing them, Jim. I'll try to be quick about them, but just how I'm kind of looking at it. Like always, when you see me make an opinion about the overall market, look at it yourself before you just take it as factual.
Thomas, I'm sorry you're down 15K. You make me feel better about my $600 loss. I'm sorry you're down 15,000, sir.
You know, the important thing when you're staring at something like that is understanding what happened so that you don't do it again. That's going to be the most valuable part of that entire thing.
No question about it.
And I would avoid trying to revenge trade back for that. That's how you're going to wipe the rest out.
Yeah. If this Facebook 10-minute candle closes above VWAP, I would look to get back in. Not because I'm revenge trading, but just because if I saw this chart and I knew they were buying these options, I would feel a little better about it. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Look how well, like, the NVIDIA just held that level that I had out very outlined well beforehand. I think my main issue was I tried to get it around VWAP, which obviously didn't work out for me, instead of just waiting for it to come to my levels. But let's see.
Welcome, Happy Muhammad. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Nice to see you again. Thank you for the shout, by the way. Much appreciated.
And for the folks, please interrupt me, but the folks that I want to explain why I took it near VWAP, right? Because I traded NVIDIA yesterday, and I traded the Qs as well around VWAP because I didn't get to trade in the morning because I was out, you know, doing bank stuff and boring adult stuff. But as you can see, when it came back to VWAP, I was able to get this trade, test it. My risk was going to be below the 245 on NVIDIA, and I was able to enjoy a nice write-up. You go ahead and take a look at the Qs yesterday. Same exact thing, right? Came down to VWAP, tested it, and went back, which is exactly what I was looking to do on Facebook here as well. When it tested VWAP around here, I was looking to take it, hoping for some upside. I didn't. I got the downside, and that's okay. But like Ryan said, explaining why I got in, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I can't predict the future, but I can try to play the odds.
You know, one of the things that we were talking about again, interrupt if you can. One of the things that we have been talking about recently is some of these stocks that have really been kind of shellacked in the near term. They're the ones that bounce the hardest, and this is a great example. Here's Asana. This is absolutely bouncing off what looks like the 45 level. Here we are at 57. If you just take a look at this daily chart, if we zoom in, it's up only 4.5% today. But look at the move that this put in yesterday. Just a really, really important move. 48.91, so about 49 up to 55. $6 yesterday. Looks like we're working on $2.50 today. So these are what we're trying to catch, right? This is the whole point of identifying what it was that sold off, trying to find where those bottoms are. This looked like it was previous resistance, and we're kind of bouncing off of this. So Asana, this is a pretty good one. This actually might have some more room here. I think the first test is going to be 60 and maybe 64 on Asana.
All right, guys, keeping a good look here on the SOPA. The SOPA are out the gates. That thing went ripping, but it is down on the day. But these are those type of stocks that are down on the day, but it's in the intraday 1 minute, it's still bullish right now. So look for maybe it takes out the high. I'm looking for a pull down towards my VWAP. My VWAP is down towards 344. I didn't get it down there, so I didn't take the shot here in the 355s. Was thinking about it, but I was like, Mitch, you know your rules, man. You like to get in on the VWAP. Don't get in here and then watch it get to 345 and then feel that pressure. So right now I did see some volume getting in. I'll give you guys the levels where the big volume's stepping up. 56s, 59s. You got 8,500 shares that stepped up there at 59. And below that, the big numbers were going in at 56 and 54. So to me, 55 is that level where you saw people start taking the shot. I didn't take it with them, but that's where I feel like there's some traders taking a shot right now on SOPA. What do you think about Fubo? Honestly, I heard some really bad news on Fubo, and we could talk about it. I mean, not necessarily the stock today, but I saw that they changed their pricing models to where they're not offering monthly options, only quarterly and yearlies. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Don't like it. Don't like it at all. I think that by not offering a monthly plan, you're actually going to limit some of the people that that would be interested in your product. I don't think that's a good move. I understand why they want to do that. That's probably to reduce churn. You want to lock people into longer subscription terms so that hopefully that becomes more sticky. I get the impetus for it, but I don't like it, especially from a consumer standpoint.
All right, SPY coming back here. I'm looking for potentially maybe getting XPEV on a big pullback here. If you take a look at the hourly, you got an hour resistance here, right at this level here, this 39.70. You could use maybe the next layer down, which would be the 39.60s, and you're trying to get a reversal off the 5-minute double bottom. Or you can look into 1 minute and you see what? One bottom, two bottoms, three bottoms, and you get it off those levels and you're looking for a reversal off the bottom trend. I only do this usually when I see the SPY kind of start holding to the VWAP, and you can see how it's trying to get back above there towards the 455.80s. We'll see if it gets on up there. It actually wicked right now above that. Let's see if we can get that move in there.
I got a perfect example here of how I trade some of these smaller micro cap names. Let me just throw this up here. I'll give you a really quick lesson. If you guys have a trade, please go ahead and interrupt me. This is a setup that I'm looking for on a lot of these stocks when I pull up the movers in the morning and I look for gainers. I want to see things that are up in the pre-market. If they have a catalyst, even better. If the catalyst is a known good catalyst, better still. But what we're looking for here is a push out of the open. We come into this zone, we set a high here, and then we pull back. This is normal behavior. Now, I do have the VWAP on here, and you can see we actually pulled back towards the VWAP a little bit lower. You can incorporate that into your trade too, especially on the VWAP reclaim. But notice here that as soon as we got back to this 627 level the first time, we tried to go through it. We couldn't. The stock pulled. Again, totally normal behavior. However, on that second time, look at the size of this volume stick down here. Look at this buying volume. As soon as that volume stepped in here, we blew past 627. We took the next leg up. We consolidated in the 645 to 635 range. And then we took that high out again. And now we're pushing. It looks like we have a high print here of 655. So this is exactly the type of behavior that we're looking for, that I'm calling out on some of these stocks that are looking to break their day highs. I saw someone in the chat earlier was asking, what indicators do you use? The best part about this strategy is that it's super simple. You're using 3 different indicators outside of the price. The volume, which is pretty much everywhere, different price levels, highs of day, and VWAP. That's it. It's really easy to execute this. This one I was actually I shouted this one out a little early, but we didn't spend enough time on it, and I was a little late on the pull through.
Long. Sorry about that. Long XPEV. Okay. Just want to make sure that people get there before it kind of makes the move here. So I just took that long based off the trade that I just established, right? So I got in there we got an entry at 39.68. So we've taken it here, and we're risking right underneath it at 59. I already set here. I'm setting up a stop limit. Stop is going to be at 58. The limit would be at 54. And this is one of those instant gratification trades. It needs to immediately work for me. If not, I'm going to get out of the trade. Why? It's a reversal type of trade. Whenever you trade reversals, you want to see immediate gratification, and you want to take the least amount of risk down at that risk spot and look for the trade to just continue working in your direction. You're looking for a reversal up at least to the VWAP, and then I'd look above the VWAP for it to continue moving. SPY, what are we getting in the SPY? Did we get a push? There you go.
Big push.
That's kind of what PayPal, I wanted to look for, right?
Square, Apple, all pushing up. Tech pushing up. In fact, I wonder what NVIDIA is doing.
Yeah, Nvidia's coming back up, which is why I'll go ahead and bring up this right here. Question for you, Zunaid. I feel like you always get it right over slightly longer time frame. You think it would be better if you buy slightly more expensive options in terms of a week out? Yeah, something that I've mentioned before is if you go ahead and buy a week out, right, or 2 weeks out or a month out, you're going to do a lot better with my trades. For me, I like to get those quick movements, but I think today the mistake that I made was I tried to play around VWAP instead of the levels. So I tried to get a little bit aggressive. And I tried to anticipate the break of this low in NVIDIA, which did not happen. And then on here, I got wicked on Facebook as it broke below the 224.50, and then it came right back up. So I got wicked on Facebook. On NVIDIA, I just didn't play it properly. But I agree 100%. If you go a longer time frame, yes, because then you won't see those huge percentage swings. I like to trade that way. My risk tolerance is a little different, perhaps. But I also size myself accordingly as well, right? So my risk on each contract or each trade, if you will, was about $400 or $500. So if I went out longer dated, I would probably get 1 or 2 contracts less. It just depends. But I agree, yes. And or if you just play equities, there have been many times where I call out a trade and the options don't work out because it takes a lot longer, but the equity side of things works out beautifully. I mean, you could have easily gotten so many scalps here between the 253.50 and then the 255 on NVIDIA and been perfectly okay. So, lesson learned, I guess. I'll make the mistake again, though. No question.
Prague popping through 2 here on volume.
All right, guys, watching this XPV, trying to work this day trade here. We'll see what happens on that one. Gold, I set a stop for me at 78, so just want to let you guys know on that swing trade. It hasn't really been moving today, and the CPI number could really affect gold. So I'm not going to be in this trade by the end of the day. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just letting it work because it's in the green right now. And when trades are sometimes in the green, for me, I'd rather let them just continue working here and stay with the trend. As long as it doesn't break trend, I'll stay in the name until probably the end of the day.
I'll go ahead and talk about coin. I'm not in this trade yet because it's kind of ran up already. But if it comes back and tests around 211 or 210, I would be interested in getting maybe the 210 calls, or you can go outside. I think there should be a 215 strike. 215 or 212. But for now, not in it because I wanted to come back, maybe test VWAP, right? Same thing that we saw on NVIDIA yesterday that I played right over here. And then we can get into that contract. But for now, not in it. Just giving you guys the idea.
Looking at Sundial here, it did make a little push towards 57. We'll see if it can come back into this trend line here and kind of hold 55s and take out 57s. It's not a bad one to look at. I can tell you right now, there's definitely some traders looking at this. I can see on the time and sales, a lot of orders going through, even as high as 6,000. So some people are taking some shots here. We'll see what happens on this name. Of course, it could be moving with Cannabis. Let's take a look at CGC pushing on up there. That's what I wanted to see. If I was going to look at Sundial, I also wanted to see tilt rate up. So if you're looking at Sundial here, I don't see it as a bad thing here. It might not even come to this 55, so I might take it off this 56 here. We'll see what happens. Sundial.
Marcelino. That's an awesome name, man. Marcelino. Thoughts on BBIG? Unless this is hitting a scanner, unless you have a very clear defined plan, sell the hell out of this thing. It's garbage.
All right, guys, still in the XPEV. It got really close to stopping me out. Might stop me out here. There he goes. I'm out. I'm out there, guys. It's actually not even a loss there. It actually got me out there at 62. So yeah, a little bit. What do we got? 62 to 68. So 6-cent loss there on XPEV. Gave myself a quick shot there. If it gets back above, let's say 39.80s, I could go back into it. But to me, I'd rather get in and out of that trade there. It did wick right below that level. It got me out. That's not a bad thing. It stopped me out right here. So we'll see what happens.
On Facebook, would you look at that, by the way? Would you look at Facebook? Let me throw it up real quick here. Just came, I mean, it just wicked me, and it said, I'm going to go without you. So now it's above VWAP. It's hanging out really well. I'm not going to get into it just yet. If anything, I would wait for this 10-minute candle to close, come back and have it test 225s around here. Where's my little thing? If it kind of wants to test here, then I would look to get back in. That way I'm risking $1 as much as possible, and then we can try to enjoy the ride up. But Facebook wicked me out. NVIDIA, shaking me like I'm at the strip club.
You know, Zunaid, I gotta say, you have a way with words, shaping it like you're at the strip club. That's a new one. I will say the hot key it in, baby. That one really got me. That was pretty funny. The Freddy that you talk about. You got a way with words and just putting things together that I think brings a lot of uniqueness to the show. I, for one, really appreciate it. So I just wanted to go ahead and
Thank you. One of these days it's gonna get me canceled. I know it is. But for now we'll enjoy it. We'll keep going with the fire.
If someone's not trying to cancel you, you're not doing it right. We're in a society today where if you're trying to get canceled, that means you're doing something.
What I would say to that is, I don't know how I'm still on sometimes, but
I know how you're on sometimes. You do a hell of a job charting plays for people for free.
I guess that's probably what it is. I'll tell you one thing: it's probably not the banter.
I like
Let's keep going.
Mitch, you're one of the few people that still is very, very intelligent and well spoken about baseball. So I mean, I know we're looking at a lockout here this year or some point, but I'm looking forward to having some more baseball discussions with you over the summer.
Yeah, man. I actually am thinking about doing a little bit more training in that. I want to start giving back, so I'm going to start looking at some high schools around the area, trying to get some players to get to the majors, man. One thing I do, I got the knowledge, so.
Wait, say that again?
I'm a good trainer, man. I know a lot. I could. If you guys have maybe a son out there that's trying to get to the majors and is pretty good right now, send me his swing. I'll take a look.
All right, interesting. I did not know that. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I'm a big sports guy.
Rodriguez in his earlier life, dude knows his shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember one day playing catch with Pudge. That was probably the highlight of my baseball career.
Yeah, I'd say.
Right?
I would say so. That'd be like, oh, Barry Bonds used to teach me how to swing a bat. But like casually dropping that in there. I'd be like, okay, well, you should.
The real key is I had a friend that was a catcher, so you could imagine him. He was working with Pudge, so not a bad person to learn how to be a catcher from.
No, definitely not. Chewy, nice shot there, Ron. Chewy actually at resistance, which was former support. Break above here. I think we go to 60 next.
Moneyball Mitch, they're calling me in the chat.
Sounds appropriate.
Fatter, you have to admit, Tom Lee has cojones calling a violent February rally during last week's sell-off. I completely agree with you. I think that's spot on here. He absolutely has some cojones in some of his calls. He takes a lot of heat too, but he makes some really, really good calls. I'm glad you shouted that out. I completely agree.
I saw, who was it, John? No, who just called this out for me? Damn, where'd it go? Somebody just called out MNDT. Where'd that comment go? I'm blind today. I'm sorry.
Zunaid, watch MNDT, BNZNB trading.
Oh, thank you. I am not used to this producer mode. I'm going to mess something up. I'm going to do what Jason did a while back. I'm going to end broadcast thinking I'm the one who is leaving.
Just that red button. If they're red buttons, you don't press them, Zunaid. If they're red
I need it to, instead of end broadcast, it needs to be like, Zunaid, do not click.
You see this? If you see a red button, you don't click it, man. You don't click a red button. No.
But I'm on MNDT.
Right,
guys, you're around VWAP. You're risking about maybe 20 to 50 cents here. I like it. Oh, if it can close above 1850 on like the hourly or the 10-minute, that could be really nice for a push towards $19. Not familiar with the stock though, but I like it. It's near VWAP. It's a nice little risk reward. I'm still waiting on Facebook to.
All right, guys. Taking sundial here, guys. 155.86 entry here. Looking for a breakout in sundial. Yes, I said it, guys. Taking the sundial here for all my diamond hands out there. They've been sundial for a while. We'll see what happens. Let's see if we can get this to be, become a rocket here. Busting out the piggy bank. Let's see what happens. With a stock like this, you got to be really tight. So I'm going to be really tight on the risk here. Risk is going to be down towards 54 cents here. So we're risking a little bit over a penny. But you got to take bigger share size, right? And so in this trade, I'm not taking an insane amount, but I'm taking 300 shares. It's nothing insane, but 10 cents is still, $30 there. So we'll see if this can start ripping. I'm looking for, let's say, like a 20-cent gain here. Looking for it to keep pushing. Why? because CGC is pushing on up until Rays keeps on pushing. So as long as those can keep on the upside, on the top side of their price action, I'll still look for Sundial to catch here and then push on up through the highs. Let's see if it pushes through that 57.
As Peloton looking interesting here, actually. Peloton, of course, had a massive day yesterday. We're dealing with the early earnings as well as the buyout rumors or interest. Looks like it came back into 36 here, held, and then bounced pretty ferociously. So Peloton looking actually pretty decent here. I think if you take out 39, you're almost certainly going to take out 40, and you might actually be able to swing this long. Can't even believe I'm saying it because Peloton has been so bad recently, but interesting stuff here. I will comment on the buyout rumor. I'm not sure that that's actually going to hold up. I don't think, I think what was it, the CEO or the founder, I can't remember which one, is still going to be around. He's still going to be involved. He still has 20-some+% share of the voting rights. So I'm not sure about that. I think a lot of those are going to be rumors to actually inflate the price of the stock, but might be able to get a run here. I have no position in this as of now, but this could rip. If this actually moves, this could start ripping. I'm going to watch for it, that's for sure.
Don't take the trade, but just watch me lose money. I'm going to get back into Facebook. Got filled at 370s. I got filled on the, what did I get filled on? Where is it? Come on. Sorry. The 225 calls for this week got filled at $3.70. Why? Because it came into this yellow box, and 224, the break of it is going to be my out. So for now, we stay in, but we'll see. We'll see how things go for us.
Daniel, if Peloton goes bankrupt, that will be a great trade too. So I don't think it's going bankrupt anytime soon, but if it does, you actually might get a trade up from that first.
Phil Hall's our teammate, isn't he? Is that who that is?
He is.
Oh, okay.
Phil Hall is also hilarious. By the way.
Yeah.
If you have not heard some Phil Hall stories, you are missing out. Dude is super funny.
I feel like I've read a couple of his stories on Slack whenever he posts.
All right, guys, I'm setting a little campfire here on my trade and I'm going to let it work here on Sundial. Now we're getting through the high of the day. Let's see if we can continue making moves on Sundial here and continue a push. Let's see. You know, this one just traded 2.75 million shares. And so one thing that I look at, and I talk about it all the time, when we get these breakouts, volume doesn't confirm a continuation move, but definitely doesn't hurt it. And you can see there, what we look for is decline in volume, a volume pop into the move there, 2.5 million into that move. I'm going to look for this to continue making moves on up. And this is a 57-cent stock here, guys. We don't hide away from any stocks here on live trading with Benzinga. Smash the like, guys, if you guys are enjoying the perspective. And remember, we looked at Sundial before the open, right? It wasn't this is something that we're trying to cherry pick here.
Spencer got into a stock called F-Wonk.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about it. Let's go to F-Wonk. I actually wanted to talk about it. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. But we could talk a little bit about it.
I like the shirt, but what the hell is F-Wonk?
So if you want, you can put up the chart so that we can take a look at it. So
give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm sorry. Spotify, you got a $2.8 million sweep coming into the 170 strike expiring June 17th. Bet you Spotify is about to go up, but before I put it up on my chart, I'm going to try to play it. Give me a second. Spot. All right. Went ahead and grabbed 100 shares at 164.50. Now I can go ahead and put up Spotify just to get a little taste of it. My stop loss will be below 163. It is testing near VWAP, excuse me. But those calls, again, they are the 170 calls expiring on June 17th of this year, approximately $3 million worth. They're paying about $19 in the contracts per contract. Sorry. I am going to do a split screen here. All right. You said F-Wonk?
F-Wonk.
All right. Talk to me.
Liberty Media Corp, or otherwise known as what? Formula One, man. My man taking a shot on Formula One. And I'll say team number 4, Nando, baby.
So
all
what? Yeah.
day.
So what's the thesis here? Lay out
So
the thesis for this.
So the thesis is this. All right. So guys, one thing that you always got to look for is on sports, how are they trending, right? Are they coming towards an uptrend? Are they coming towards a downtrend? Are they coming to the United States? Like soccer is one that I think in the long run eventually does catch fire here in the United States, but that's still a little bit of ways away. I think that's about like 10 years away. Now, Formula One, because of their Netflix series, really took off.
Yeah.
Their Netflix series really put the racing in a different perspective. What perspective did it put? Into a story perspective. Look at it as, is it partners battling each other? Was it Ricardo and Max Verstappen battling on Red Bull and then eventually leaving? Those are the type of stories that are really the focus of Formula One and what the fans really love to see, really. I mean, at the end of the day, races are races. We watch them on Sunday, but it's always great to find out what happens in between from Sunday to the next Sunday, right? Just like you watch on, let's say, NFL did this with what? They did this with their teams, right? And what's the show called? I always forget the name.
Hard
I don't
Knocks.
watch
Hard Knocks.
Exactly. That similar experience, right? You see what happens on the NFL fields on Sunday, but you don't see what happens in between, right? That's what Hard Knocks fulfilled. And so with this being said, the fans really started growing. Now this has taken it to another level with another United States race. They increased the races now to 2 races in the USA. Why are they doing this? Because they want to continue to bring more and more consumers, American consumers, to Formula One. This is that push. I think Spencer was a little bit late to the move. I will say that. So you can maybe look for a pullback and try to grab the pullback, but I don't mind the trade. I honestly think it's an awesome one. Looking forward to seeing when the next Netflix season comes out, which should be coming out in March sometime. So look for that to happen. We also got the next season that starts in March. So you got 2 catalysts that could be coming on the way that could push the stock. We'll see what happens.
So one thing real quick on that. So first of all, Easy Mike says Richard Hamilton is the GOAT. I think you meant Lewis Hamilton, and he's not quite. For me, I'm a Senna guy. So Ayrton Senna is who I think the GOAT is. Anyway, the one thing that's important about F1 is that Mitch, as you were just saying, it hasn't been the most popular sport here in America. One of the other things that I've noticed are the sports where the athletes are not as visible, whether it be just because of popularity or perhaps in the case of F1. These guys are in cars the entire race with helmets on. You really can't see them. All you see of them is a picture. When you actually get that behind the scenes look, it allows the viewers to actually make a connection that they were not able to make before. And I think that can actually help rooting interests in different teams, in different drivers, and then also the overall enjoyment, right? Like you get to when you start watching those shows, you can kind of see some of the behind the scenes, the back and forth between Verstappen and Hamilton, or like you were just bringing up, what was Nando?
Nando and now Ricardo and McLaren. The battle's on.
These stories you wouldn't necessarily get from just watching the sporting event, which is exciting in itself, but you get that behind the scenes, and I think that actually bleeds over into the events and sets viewers up for long-term viewership. I really like these. I think these are very, very important shows.
Makes couple of things.
Hold on. I gotta say this. It makes you what? A raving fan, man.
Hey.
That's what it does. Once you become a raving fan, dude, you buy it all. You buy it all.
You sure do. Real quick, I'm going to sell it all instead of buying it all. Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and get out here at about $3.90 was my fill on the bid. It went ahead and broke below BWAP. Yes, it's up at the moment. Not the biggest fan of the price action. Again, it can work, but for me, I'm going to go ahead and take my 7% trade and just get out of it. On Spotify, by the way, we went ahead and got filled on this one at 164.51. Now it's trading at 165.07. Because of that big sweep, I'm going to hang on and be in it for a little bit longer. If this 10-minute candle can close above VWAP and then go ahead and break the previous close, I think we can test 168 later on today. But those are the 2 trades out on Facebook, small gain. And then Spotify, I've got a gain of about a couple $100, but I'm going to stay in it and try to be a little more greedy.
All right, watching Sundial continue to work, but starting to see the SPY slow down there. So I just want to put a warning out there, guys. To me, the 455.79 455.80s above there. It needs to hold up there. If not, we're going to start seeing some downside action. Of course, with CPI coming out tomorrow, you could see some profit taking, as you have seen some stocks run the last kind of 2 to 3 days, right? And so you got to be careful out there. You're starting to see profit taking out there, especially day traders. I'd be worried.
All right, on Spotify, you're up $1 now. Do what you got to do. Don't be greedy. I will.
Yeah, Kindred Duke is saying, why us Americans like NASCAR but not F1? I've been trying to figure that out too. I much prefer F1 to NASCAR. I still think NASCAR is exciting, and there can be plenty of exciting times during a race, but I don't get it, man. F1's super exciting. Like Evil DJ says, they turn left? Question mark. That's one of the things. Love it.
At least from one person that's seen both races. I've been to a Daytona 500 and now have been to an Austin Grand Prix. You guys. If you think NASCAR is fun, dude, you don't know what you're missing. Those cars really sound like perfect. I love the backfire they have. Oh my God.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take half my size here on Spotify at 166.50. I'm gonna let the rest ride. Nice, beautiful $2 move. Gonna cash in on that, and the rest we will let it ride and have it kind of test the 167.50 area.
DraftKings holding well today, guys. Third high there. Looks like it wants to continue breaking through 23s. I could scalp it there at the 23s. I just don't want to, just because I just don't feel the need to. But I do like the look there. DraftKings continuing now holding 23. And if you take a look at Penn, what do you see? Nice little bottoming action. Look for it to take out the 50-50s here, and then you can see that the continuation move. I did want to take a look at a stock like GAN. And some of these kind of gambling plays. That one does look good. IGT was another one that I called out earlier. Look how that one's been trading. It's been trading well too. So all these gambling plays kind of doing well right now. We'll see if these can continue. It's interesting to note, but consumer cyclicals still leading the sector today. So there's the reopening trades and things like that still doing really well right now. Residential construction also kind of leading the industries in there. Luxury goods, you guys can be watching some trades. I'm going to roll through here. Chipotle trying to catch a bottom there. You guys can take a look to see if that catches the bottom. Looks like this XPEV starting to come back. I mean, this one stopped me out around the 39.70s. We'll see if it really starts coming back or not. Fox having a good day. So if you want to take a look at broadcasting TV, that's been going on up today. Chewy having a good day, guys. Almost a 9% day. So if you want to take a look at Chewy, that one's really pushing there. EDR, I think this is the UFC stock, right? EDR. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. I'm pretty sure this is the UFC stock here. And it's pushing up. It's doing well. CNK doing well today, guys. I saw this chart start looking better than the AMC chart. I know that might sound crazy, but look at this chart and look how the bottoming action is, at least for me, looking better than the AMC bottoming action. So look at CNK potentially. I also saw IMAX moving on up. Look how that one's been performing. These are actually trading better now than AMC. So I would actually keep IMAX and Cinemark in my forefront. Watch AMC, maybe catch that sympathy. All right, guys, we're getting towards that 10:30 time. Need you guys to smash up that like, get it on up there. We got over 750 people. That means we should get to 500 likes today, guys. I need you guys to smash on up.
I'm curious, how many people went ahead and caught that Spotify move? Because we called it right around here. I personally entered in at 164.51, I think was my entry. And I told you guys my stop loss would be below 163, the break of low of day. And you can see the beautiful movement that it's had. Now breaking above VWAP, obviously broke the previous close, 245 left to go in the 10-minute candle. But smash a one, or not smash a one. Put a 1 in the chat if you went ahead and took Spotify and played it, whether you played it via options or the equity or whatever side you did. And then on that note, smash a like too if you made some money. Do both.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
But I'm curious. I'm curious if you guys went ahead and took that Spotify trade.
That's what you call it, a gift. A gift, guys.
Yeah, and I love options, right? Obviously, Ryan and I chat about it a lot as well. If I see someone putting down millions of dollars, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy a few hundred shares. That's okay. No problem by me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I even do it in commons, right? You always hear me talk about the big orders. I rather trade with the big fish Let him take the stock for a ride, and then I can go for a ride with him. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Like I always say, if it's good enough for their, $1 million, probably good enough for my $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. Phil said you're trying to play as Neil Young on Spotify. You won't be able to, my friend. What happened? You know what happened, Phil.
The meme for that is one of the most epic memes ever. If you do not censor the guy I don't like, you cannot listen to Keep On Rockin' in the Free World. I mean, oh my God. I think my face turned red and I laughed for a good 10 minutes when I saw that the first time. Just absolutely nail on the head.
All right, I will tell you guys, look at the SPY right now, guys. Look at the 15-minute chop action right here, guys. So look at these wicks. Look at the downside action. We're going to see if it gets out of the 15-minute range. This is important because if you actually look at it, it's going to make 4 candles, which is an actual hour candle there. And we're going to look to see if it can break out or below the range. Once we get that breakout or below, I think you're going to get some continuation. So let's see what happens here as you start building. This is the 5-minute look. But really, I think stay on that 15. Don't overreact. Let's see when this candle closes. We got about 40 seconds, about 35 seconds left here. We'll see what happens on the SPY.
Great. Yeah, Tweety, I don't want to say mark my words, but tag me or we can talk about it tomorrow because I would go ahead and bet $5, 5 whole dollars. All right, nothing more, nothing less. That the Nigerian brothers, if they're on the show on CNBC later on tonight or today, they'll mention Spotify and the calls that were bought. The same exact ones that you heard about at 10:15, they'll go ahead and tell you at 12:30 on.
Which ones were those
national
again?
TV.
Remind us?
Let me go ahead and see which ones they bought. I believe it was the June. Yeah, so it was the 170 strike expiring June 17th, approximately $3 million worth. And that's what caused this huge 10-minute candle. And we were able to catch it right here. Actually, no, we were able to catch it here, and then we saw a dip, and then it went. But this is where we caught it right here. Around 10:17 is when I personally bought it. And I've still got half writing. So we'll see, we'll see how that goes. I expect it to come back to VWAP. So matter of fact, let me just close out of it because it's up decent. All right, I'm going to get out of all my Spotify. A beautiful 2% trade on the equity side, something I don't do often. But I'm out 167.75. And earlier I was out at 167.13 and we got in at 164.72. So a nice $2-3 move there for us. And on that note, yeah, I'm glad you guys made it. I'm glad you guys took the trade. But yeah, someone tag us on Twitter, whatever, if the Nigerian brothers call out that Spotify option sweep.
What are you screaming about?
Screaming about Spotify and wondering why you didn't buy a lot of it.
Missed it. His position is down and he's all mad now.
It's all right. Tell him about Chara. He'll lighten up.
He knows all about Chara actually having a nice little day there. And a big bidder at 516 on Chara. Interesting.
No, I don't even know if I should talk about it, but you guys that don't like Neil Young, I mean, I'm not even gonna go there. You guys probably don't know music too much, but I'll keep moving on.
I don't know music. Is that what you just said?
No, there's Alex F in the chat. Also, you got Abe said the Neil Young music is crap. I mean, I'm not even gonna start there.
I don't think I've heard the music, so I can't comment.
You gotta be
all of the classic rock. I'm sorry, Mitch. That one's not even close to the top. Not even close.
He's one of the ones that led the drive there, but I think you keep him in mind at least. Most people didn't listen to the music back then, or still listen to the music back then. So,
how about affirmed? Affirmed. Phil, oh my God, Phil. Affirmed really pushed 69.99, really pushing that 70 level here. This one been bouncing pretty ferociously too off that $50 low. 20 points in 2 weeks? Amazing bounce there on Affirmed.
Trying to get that push through the SPY. Let's see if we can get it on up there. We're getting that new candle, right? The hourly candle. Look how this starts looking here, guys. We're about to get it right now on that next click right here. So let's see how this opens on up with the next hourly candle and see if we can start pushing on up there. 15 minutes starting to push on up. Look how that's starting to hold. For me, if it holds 456 now on these pullbacks, you should see some continuation on some moves for the upside. So if you're looking at those types of trades, there you have it. SPY pushing there. Let's see if it holds 456.
Pushing P.
Yes, Jonathan, I'll agree with you. Let's turn up the lo-fi.
What is happening? Is this Neil Young? I don't know what this is.
This is lo-fi, man. Gotta get your
Lo-fi?
game. Gotta get your music game up, Zunaid.
SoFi pushing P. Man, I'm pushing. I mean, I wish I was hitting sell on Spotify as it approaches 169, just like we thought. But I went ahead and exited it earlier at 168. So I'm not mad at it. But matter of fact, they are now grabbing the 195 on Spotify. So I'm not going to get it because it is so far away from VWAP. I would wait for it to come back and maybe test it, and then we can possibly get another ride. But Spotify, I'm telling you, the Nigerians, if they're on, they should mention it. But
all right, guys, looks like the SPY is holding there. We'll see if it gets that continued push. Like always, definitely smash the like. Let's keep on going to see what's going on out there.
oh, you know what? Okay, let's have conspiracy theory here. Someone just went ahead and put in $3 to $4 million into Spotify contracts that expire out in June. Do we hear any news regarding Joe Rogan or anyone else about Spotify? Like, what is the catalyst of someone putting in millions of dollars into Spotify out in June? Like, one of they already reported earnings, so it's not necessarily that. It could be afterwards that they enjoyed what they heard.
I think probably a regression to the mean, as the stock was cut in more than half from the recent highs that it put in February of last year. What was the strike again?
170 is where the $3 million was.
Okay, so you're looking at a near the money call, maybe an at the money call here. I would imagine if you get any type of regression to the mean or any challenge over 200 or near 200, those calls are going to be popping. Dude is going to be sitting on a beach earning 20%.
Yeah, no question about it. But two things to keep in mind to be like, oh man, Zunaid talked about it. If the Nigerians mention it, and if you hear some wonky news about Spotify in the next in February, I'll go ahead and say February. I'll give myself 20 days or so. By the way, let's go ahead and someone again interrupt me if you have a trade. But we talked about Penn. There's sometimes so many stocks we can't trade all of them, but we give you the ideas. And one of the ideas that we gave you earlier was watch Penn break 50. Don't get in all the way. Grab some shares if you want, but watch it retest 50, and then you can go ahead and take your size. And well, lo and behold, you had Penn break 50, come back, test $50 right near VWAP, and it's now continuing its momentum towards $51. So, you know, this is the type of stuff we try to tell you. Look out for this. Here's what's going to happen, and then it's up to you to kind of see if it fits your trading parameters. But there's a perfect example of don't wait for us to get in, but check out the levels we're giving you, the thought process behind it. If it works for you, great, take it.
Shout out to Tiny Pie Media for spotting the Die Hard reference. I use that one a lot, and it gets spotted very, very infrequently. So I am impressed with you for being able to.
What was the reference? Now I got to know. What was the reference?
Sitting on a beach earning 20%. That's what Hans Gruber says when he's about to break in and get the negotiable.
I would have never known that. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Tiny Pie and I are on a different level.
You guys are. And there's Nvidia. Whoever said, hey, you should go ahead and get next week's contract so you can stop being a little baby. I mean, your advice would have worked wonderfully because look at Nvidia's move. I botched this trade. I'm going to go ahead and say I screwed this trade up.
All right, still in the sundial, it's just going sideways. It went up there towards 58s, but I mean that's how it is with these penny stocks. You just gotta let them work. I did just see a big bid there at like 485 show up at 56. We'll see if that takes out 58 and continues to run. What I would watch is for a VWAP bounce on CGC. There you guys see. We'll see if that kind of bounces there and keeps pushing on up. That one does look good. Tilray also kind of continuing to lead. That's what I remember called out before in the pre-market. I said, look for Tilray to give you that sign that, yes, we are still getting that continued push. Day 2 move in Tilray, day 1 move CGC and Sundial. And you can see Tilray starting to push there. Not a bad look if you were looking at these cannabis names.
Mitch, David is asking you about the Discord.
Yes, let's talk about that. I think it's the perfect time, and then we'll wrap on up and get you guys on out of here. So one of the things that we want to do, guys, is kind of keep building the community, right? And I mean, that's what it's all about here, is kind of building a community. The big question I have, and I have it for the chat, is right now on this Discord, we did open up a live trading with Benzinga specifically only for this show. But what I have to ask is everybody out there is, do you want me to make it private so that only people that get the link on this show can talk in there? I would love to hear the opinions of you guys out there on that. Would you guys want it to be public, or would you guys want it to be private where you could only invite people that would be kind of more of this community, or if you reached out to someone else and kind of invited them to be a part of it? What do you guys think in the chat there?
Interesting.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go through the trades that you guys made today, or trades that you guys are looking at. Let's review that. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first so I can get my steps in, because Lord knows I need it. NVIDIA went ahead and played this. I knew my risk level was going to be the break of 253. I played the options around VWAP, which unfortunately were down, and they hit my risk, so I had to get out even though my levels didn't break. So I said it already before, but I went ahead and botched this trade. The biggest trade for me today was Spotify. Saw the big $3 million option sweep coming to the 170. Spotify calls coming in, expiring in June. Went ahead and got shares at 163.50, sold them around 167.50 or so. So following the big money worked out really well, but I knew my risk was the break of 163, and thankfully it all worked out there. So overall, green day only because of Spotify.
Oof, it's a battle in there about public and private. I'll tell you one thing. I didn't think it was going to be that like even. I'm trying to literally count the votes here, but the idea of it being private, it wouldn't be that you guys wouldn't be able to get in it, but just more along that we would have to invite you, and it's kind of getting that invite only type. We'll see what happens.
And Mitch, real quick, I think that this is a good question to ask, because one of the things that I have noticed on Discords, especially Discords that are involved with stocks, there are a lot of spammers. Master of Stocks is hitting it. You can do public with phone verification to keep out spammers. That's what, if we make it public, we are going to need to have some type of plan to make sure that spammers stay out of there, because they can ruin the experience really, really quickly.
I don't know, man. I like getting those offers of double your money within 2 days. I feel like I can really build my wealth that way, Ryan.
Okay, well then we'll just create a rule, direct every spammer to Zunaid, and that will be fine. It'll handle.
Guys, should I put Zunaid's email out so you guys can just start filling it in all the spam boxes?
He wants to double his money, folks. He wants to double his money.
Guys, next time you guys get the spam, just throw in Zunaid's email.
Do not. I'm about to hit up Sharon or Aaron and be like, yo, I need my email changed. Somebody help.
I need Zunaid to email, because
the
one got spam.
Oh, XOXO Zunaid XOXO at benzinga.com.
XOXO.
Nocturnal Sky says you got us. I'll spam.
Oh man.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, guys. I did throw up the link in the chat, guys. So if you guys want to follow that link, I'll throw it up again one more time here. The link does expire in about 7 days. So if you don't join up right now, but what we're going to do is I'm going to start trying to do a watch list really early on. And I'm always looking at stocks, like let's say before even 7 a.m. Eastern. So I'll be in there. You guys be in there. And like always, maybe you might catch me on voice on there at other times in the day. So definitely stay up there. That's going to be our community. You guys out there built this. And that's why we're at 750 viewers right now, because you guys keep sharing and helping by hitting that like button and supporting the channel. So I'll go ahead and I'll get Zunaid and Ryan on out of here. Guys, appreciate you guys coming on by, And Zunaid, it was great to have you back, man.
Hey, pleasure. Happy to be back. Appreciate all the love, y'all.
Yep. Hopefully you'll be back tomorrow. Okay.
Absolutely.
See you tomorrow.
See you.
All right, there you guys have it. Now there was one, and I'm looking to get on. We'll be looking to get on beginner trading. If you guys don't know what that is, it's an actual day trading channel that day trades live every single day. He's wrapping on up here on his stream, and he will be joining us soon here at 11. But you guys do me the favor, smash that like button. If you guys support us, we'll support you. Let's keep it going. Where's the confetti today, guys? Where is it all out? Subscribe. Let's go ahead. Hit that bell, guys. Let's go ahead and keep going here. What do we see in the market? You guys throw it up in the chat. If you guys got a stock you guys are taking a look at. I'm still watching the sundial trade, but I'm just going to let this work here. I'm going to look around to see if I start seeing some trades start looking like they're trying to reverse here. So American Airlines finally went up there towards that 1880 where I was really looking to get on out. I got out on this one into the 70 on that last kind of drop here. I was actually back in right around here when we started dropping through the 70s, and then we got out on American Airlines. It was a great trade there. JetBlue was an awesome trade also today. We could have got a little bit higher, maybe towards that 1609 that I was looking for, but not a bad one at all. Airbnb, let's take a look at that one. I did trade that one on up, sold it at 168.80s, and now I got towards 169. That was like my top target for the trade, so not a bad trade there. Airbnb, this one was, let's go ahead and kind of draw here where we got in. Let's look at the hourly here. Let me actually just look at my trade. So 156.86 here. So that was our entry. That's around 156.80s. It's going to be right around here. So let's go ahead. Let's draw it up there. 156.80s. It's about right here, right where you see that line. So let's go ahead. Let's draw it from there. Right where we got towards around the 168.86 is about a 7.37% gain there. I'm not trying to be exact. I would have to really calculate it, but just trying to use the tool here. That's not a bad gain there. 7.37% in just 2 days on Airbnb. I will take that gain. All right, still holding gold. Still holding gold. We're going to see what happened. I tried to see if it was going to break out through the 1990s. I do have a stop out at 78, so I'll let you guys know if I do get stopped out on that. Starting to see the SPY start coming back down, even though it looked like it was going to break the range. It's not holding that range right now. We'll see what happens. Time to get the stocks from the chat. You guys out there, keep throwing them on up. Let's keep going. Don't even know what Discord is. It's just a chat room. Think about it like a Skype, a better Skype. Let's think about it that way. All right, guys, what's going on out there? Can you take a look at MVIS? I saw also BKKT thrown on up, so we'll take a look at that. All right, BKKT, let's do that one first. Barack holding definitely strong today. After a strong day, 7th and 8th, sideways action on this. We were looking at this in on Money Mitch to see if it could get back on through that high there. You got a one up, one down, two up, two down, three up, three down, right here on that 58 move that you got in the pre-market. There you guys have it. That gave you the sign that if it gets through the resistance, you could look for the breakout 6. You got a nice push through 6 here. Look for the pullback right underneath it. Boom, nice little bracket on out. Sideways action, top price consolidation always makes me feel confident that the move wants to continue. And you can see how this stock pushed to 650 and then only pulled back towards 637 and then really got back through the 650s. We'll see if this one can continue to run. BKKT. All right. I believe me, Kevin, gets into legal trouble over this. Yeah, I could see him getting into trouble. But let's keep going. I'll leave him alone. MVIS there, Microvision. We'll see if we can get this one to continue moving. Of course, this is that battery play catching a little bit of a bottom here. We'll see if it gets back towards 4. But to me, this is just kind of like a stock that was just oversold. SBEV. SBEV shares ripping. Yeah, we got Splash Group holding well there. Definitely is pushing on up. I take a look at the 5-minute. You can take a look here. This one's been going up since the 7th, and it's already made a 40% move. So just be careful here. But I do see kind of the setup that you guys are looking at here. If you see here, we held that pulled back at 525s. That's what I'd want to see definitely hold. Out on the downside would be below 519 here. We'll see if it can kind of catch here and just break back out through the 540s. I personally am not going to take this trade just because I'm a little late to the move here, but we'll see what happens. And that's SBEV. All right, registration done. Hey, keep it going, guys. I'm definitely going to keep working in here in the live trading. How we doing out there? I see some cats, some meows already in there. All right, what's going on out there? Where do you guys do that live beginner day trading at? Right here, man. Sometimes we do take some day trades. You'll see what happens. Like always, one thing you can watch is Money Mitch. That's where I go ahead and kind of review what happened on live trading here. Take a look at some of my swing trades. Take a look at some of the stocks that you guys are taking a look at. So catch me today, guys. I'm actually going to do a special 1-hour show today starting at 4. Normally, Money Mitch is always going to be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So catch me today, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to take a look at some stocks, I'm going to do a special show going over looking for swing trade opportunities in a market that I'm starting to take some better swing trades and get some profit out of it. All right, so we'll see if that SBEV can catch that bounce right there at the VWAP and then come right back through the 537s. The only thing that I'll tell you about SBEV is that it's trading and has a very low float range on the spread is a little bit too big for me. 529 on the bid, 535 on the offer. That's about a 6-cent spread there. I would like it to be closer towards 1 or 2 cents. All right, let's keep it going. Jersey said play Neil Young. No, I don't want to make everyone run away. Smash the like, guys. If we get towards the like, we'll get into DJ Hoch. Yeah, DJ Hoch. I said it, guys. After 11, sometimes when we get into our interviews or right after, I'll go ahead and I'll play a little bit of music, change it on up, and get into maybe some music that I like. All right, what's going on out there? Nice to finally see you get a time slot you deserve. You earned and deserve. Yeah, I know how it is, Zen Bullish. Don't worry. I try to mix in what I can here on Benzinga and mix in. Sometimes I'm going to be on a little bit later, but if you guys get out there, I definitely think it's rewarding. All right, Tesla 4-hour chart. Yeah, I can take a look at there. Tesla catching a little bit of a bid there at 925, starting to push back here, trying to get up there towards 930s. Tesla's just really choppy right now. You can see this green line that I drew. You see how we keep rejecting when we get up there towards the 940s? That's not a good look. It looks like it wants to come back and test down towards 903. To me, that's what I would see. I would look for a VWAP bounce and a VWAP fade type of trade. I'd be trading Tesla today, for my eyes, on the downside. But let me go to the 4-hour chart, which is what you were looking at. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So 4-hour chart, you can see here, you're seeing kind of the similar chart, similar resistance in the same area. 947s need to get back above there to get bullish. To me, this is actually a bearish pattern here, just trying to break back down here. But we'll see what happens if it can get back and kind of hold this. You can see here the trend line, it kind of held on that wick. But if it gets back through that 903, I think you could get really back down towards 850s. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. What's going on out there? Apple, Facebook being mentioned out there. Adobe moving. I'll take a look. All right, Adobe moving on up. That's a good look for infrastructure stocks. Let's take a look there. Microsoft, how's that doing? Kind of sideways there today. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple is holding above that 174. That is bullish. I did see someone mentioning that. Mark mentioning back up to 177.50s. I could see that kind of coming up towards the 180s. But personally, I mean, there's not too much room here on Apple, but I don't know if there's any catalyst that's going to come into play here. But it doesn't look bad. And I always talk about how that 170 is so important. If we crack that on the downside, we could see downside action. Keeping in this sundial right now, guys. Just trying to let this trade work here. It needs to kind of continue ripping. We got in right here. We're looking for it to continue pushing on up through the 58s. We'll see if that can happen there. All right, what's going on out there? I'm here for the technical. Hey, hope you're enjoying an easy win. Mitch, what do you think about AAL and DraftKings going today and tomorrow? So my thing there is I already took profits on American Airlines. I took that trade and I wanted to take profits into the 1880s. Why? Because I feel like CPI could really hurt us, but who knows? Maybe CPI actually helps us. We get a low number and this is back up at 20s. The uncertainty is why I got out. It's not that it's certain to go down. It's not that it's certain to go up. It's more uncertain. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and take the profits that I was given and not try to be a little bit greedy here and swing into the next day. Next thing you know, it could be back to my entry and I gave up all the gains. All right, stay public. Right now, it is public, the Discord. I'll think about going into private if I start seeing some spam or something like that. But for right now, it is public. AMD being mentioned here. So let's go look. Master of the stocks. Let's take a look here. AMD pushing on up there, looking well. We talked about how potentially you could get another test towards that 100, and it hasn't wanted to even break down through the 120s. So to me, AMD is still looking strong unless it breaks 120 on the downside. SoFi, Elon says. SoFi has having a good day. To me, I need to get back above 14 for me to even look at this for long. But you are getting that bottoming action inside this box, which is a good look between, let's say, 11.23s on the downside and up towards 11.25s on the up, 13.25s on the upside. AMC making moves, said David. Yeah, I think AMC is making moves today, but I think really what you got to watch here is look at this trade. I'm going to put this on the 3 chart. All right, so look at, let's pull the 3 chart here. I'm going to put AMC on the left. Ooh, look at that BTU chart. That actually looks interesting for me today. We'll see if that one can catch that bid there, but I'm going to ignore that right now. Let's go back to AMC on the right-hand side. Let's do CNK. And let's do IMAX. All right, all 3. I actually like right now, I would probably look at IMAX because it hasn't made that bounce, but AMC's towards the high, CNK's towards the high. So I'm going to look at IMAX here. Let's take a trade on IMAX. I'm going to take a very small sizing here so that I can even get into the trade and not worry too much about the trade here. Let's take 100 shares here. All right, just took 100 shares there at 1928. We're going to risk down towards this 1915 area. So we got about $13 risk. Not the craziest trade, but I'm willing to take the shot here. Getting in here, we'll see if IMAX can come right back to the high. This is what a VWAP bounce type of trade. You catching the bottom. You got below VWAP, above VWAP, below VWAP. Now you need to get above VWAP and hold it. If it can hold it, it could probably take out the highs. So what I'm showing here, guys, is how I approach when I'm taking a look at different trades, right? Different trades are making moves. I'm looking for the laggard here. The leader looks like it is AMC right now because it's towards the high, right? It's pushing towards that high right now. And let's go ahead and put these on 5-minute charts so that we can kind of keep an eye out all in the same time frame. You see how AMC pushed on up there. You see CNK trying to get on up there. Now I'm taking the lag on the IMAX. We'll see if it can continue to move. You'd want to see him continue to move on up. This go up to, like, let's say 1775. This go through that 1745 and get to 1750. And then we'll look for IMAX to catch the bid there around 1930s, push towards that 1943. All right, what's going on, guys? How do you guys think about this? Does Mitch have his own Discord? Yash asked. No, I do not. I'm part of Benzinga, and I work for Benzinga every single day. So if you guys want to catch me, that's probably the best place to catch me. You can also catch me on Twitter at Story Investors. Yes, I have it right there under my name. So Story Investors. You guys can hit me up on Twitter. A lot of people hit me up for that study guide that I gave out. So check it on out, guys. All right. Beginner Trading will be joining us in just a few minutes here. So definitely stick around, guys. We'll be getting another perspective day trader coming on and checking it on out, guys. Like always, one thing that we want to do is get to other day traders out there, bring perspectives, whether it be kind of like Zunaid. we reach out to a YOLO trader, or it's like I taking some swing trades, or maybe it's someone else like Ryan taking some options trades. We always want to get new perspectives. So if you guys got a trader you guys want to bring on right here on live trading, put it in the chat or go ahead and throw it up in the comments after the show, and I'll make sure to reach out. Let's go ahead. Let's bring on John right now. I'm going to go ahead and just play a quick trailer here while we go ahead and bring my man on. Like always, guys, check on out Benzinga Pro. You can get that with a 2 free week trial. You don't even need a credit card for that. Like always, guys, let's go ahead. Let's keep going right here on Benzinga's YouTube.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and re-educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
That's what I love about you guys. You know, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
What's going on out there, traders? Yes, I'm watching this trade right here. This IMAX. We'll see if it can continue to move. Of course, we'll see the lag if we can get that push. Now, let's go ahead. Let's bring on my man here, John London from Beginner Trading. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So yeah, man, the market has been interesting the last 2 weeks for sure, bro. After that Facebook crash, dude. So
that's for
how you
sure.
Been doing, man?
Not been doing bad, man. Just been battling. Man. You know, one of the things is for a little while there, I was just taking more day trades and taking really small sizing, having the foot on the brake. Now, as of recent, this week, I've really been taking more swing trades and taking them. And I did get some good winners: American Airlines, Airbnb today, JetBlue. Nice. All into the green, Airbnb being the biggest winner there. But these reopening trades starting to come back a little bit, as at least I'm feeling, and I've been looking for the COVID numbers to come on down. That's what I think you're also going to hear. Just to kind of put this out there, guys, Biden today is going to be talking about some COVID numbers. I think you're going to hear some good news coming out of that, and that potentially could bring us to spike. So just want to remember, this is speculation, but I always like to that's where I hang out, guys, in the room of speculation. So we'll see what happens here and if we can get those moves. But John, let us know what have you been trading, what have you been seeing? Maybe did you take a trade today? You can review that, or maybe a good trade that you've taken this week.
I didn't trade much today. I traded a little bit, but a good trade that I got involved with this week was Snapchat. You know, Snapchat, I thought was, if we look at the yearly chart on Snapchat, it's been beat up over the last like 3 months. And I just thought the dip would work out. I thought Snapchat has enough pop culture relevance to rebound and be fine. Another one I took was DraftKings. You know, I'm a big sports, you know, dare I say, better. And
I can't blame you, man.
Yeah.
If you want, share your charts so that we can see them.
Yeah, sure. Got you, man.
See it through your perspective, at least.
Sure. Yeah, I got you. So these are my charts right now. We traded a little bit of the SPY, but the big thing with day trading is volatility. You need volatility. If there's no volatility, you're just going to get chopped out. And that's kind of what happened on the SPY today. But we did trade with Snapchat. It was actually an options contract. It was a call option. I've been experimenting with options a little bit more, and I lost a bunch of money experimenting with them for the first time like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But we bought a call option on Snap. I think it was like a $37 call option 2 or 3 days ago. And we made like a little bit over $100 on that. And then DraftKings as well, you know, but I just saw Snap and I thought that because of this chart right here, let me put one chart up so it's easier to see. Because of, you know, I'm a bottom feeding dip buyer. I always say, like, I just try to look for I look for healthy companies that have been beat up and then try to buy that dip. And that's what we did with Snap. In terms of day trading, it's like I'm usually trading like the SPY or the QQQ, or sometimes, you know me, Mitch, maybe AMD, Disney, Apple. But volatility has been rough. Like if we look at the SPY over today and yesterday, it's just been really sideways, really neutral. It looks like we finally broke out of that range. So it's been difficult to day trade large cap stocks. At least, you know, my time to trade is the first hour of the day, maybe. and mostly sideways action. And so, you know, day trading, we're doing okay. We're above water, but it's just been slow. You know, luckily we got the earnings release of Amazon and Snapchat the other day. So, you know, that brought some volatility and life back to the market. But at this point in time, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen, you know, with the SPY, with Bitcoin, crypto, DraftKings, Snapchat.
Yeah, definitely. You know, one thing that has been happening is it's been a tough market. It hasn't been easy. Let's just be honest. Sometimes the markets are a little bit easier. Sometimes they're a little bit harder, and it's all about getting around it. So you said that you're dipping into the option game. I mean, I can't blame you for at least taking the shots if you're seeing the percentages. But like always, I mean, I've been in that game too, and I can tell you, you know. You know what happened to me, at least in options. I get swamped in options. Every time I get into that game, I can say I get right back out.
Hey, honestly, you're just like me, then, bro. Because I got beat up. I'm a scalper. You know me. I'm a scalper, and so I'm trying to scalp SPY contracts, and I'm trying to scalp QQQ contracts. The problem for me is that I trade so short term. Like I literally hold something for 20 or 30 seconds, just kind of scalping the trend. But with contracts, the slippage is a little bit too much for me. And so I went back to scalping shares within 2 or 3 days after, you know, experimenting with options. I think if I'm going to trade options, it's going to be like 2-month out options, like 1 month, 2 month out, just betting on rebounds and beating up companies that I think are healthy.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely keep that on watch. Just to kind of mention back towards my trade, because I am in a live trade here. Taking a look here to see if IMAX can keep pushing, AMC pushing through the highs there. We'll see if we can continue getting that run. Also, we did mention about the Biden talk. So just to kind of mention, guys, that should have started at 11 a.m. Eastern. Biden has a tendency of being late. I know you guys are going to love to jump on those jokes in the chat, but we'll see what happens there. If my man Biden got his corn puffs or not, and he will be there. I'll tell you, last time he was about 45 minutes late. So you might get your hope up if you're trying to time it right. But just know, I know for sure the algos are going to probably watch this speech. It's supposed to be about COVID, and I think you might hear some positive commentary. So just kind of keep an eye on it. I don't know for sure. Unfortunately, I don't know Biden personally, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man. What time is that supposed to be?
Well, it's literally like if you're looking at the White House Gov live right now, it'll say will begin shortly. It should have started at 11. So it's going to be one of those things that you guys can watch. I'll give you guys a little secret tip. There is certain people that do have cameras on even while this shortly is on. I'm not going to give you guys exactly who, because you might need to do a little research. But
Google.
I used it last time to find out when I heard the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, and I was like, all right, I'm getting ready. This is about to go live. Let's do it. So just to kind of give you guys that insight.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Are you going to be streaming it? Elon said, I probably won't, because I'll probably be on live, guys. Let's just be honest. John's on here. So let's go ahead. Let's get into a little bit more of what kind of setups do you like? Maybe have you taken a trade recently that there was a really nice setup?
I traded AMC a little bit this morning. And you know, I know I might get flamed a little bit for scalping AMC like I do, but I'm a scalper. I tend to like volatility. And so when a stock is volatile, I tend to like big moves over the volume weighted average price, the VWAP, with good volume. And so if we look at AMC here, we can see AMC's maintaining, like at the opening bell, it was maintaining anywhere between like 4 to 800,000 shares traded per minute. I generally look for at least 200. So if it's 4 to 8, that's pretty solid. And I look for just crosses over the volume weighted average price. You know, the VWAP is an intraday trend indicator. You can also use it for longer terms, but it tells you the trend. And so when you get a stock that opens up below it, like down here, let me get the right thing. When you get a stock that opens up below it down here and crosses over it like this, I usually look for small pullbacks after that. And so if we have enough volume, that's basically betting that the trend is going to continue. And so we get a rip over the volume weighted average price, we get a pullback, and usually I'm trying to buy these little dips right here. And so I'll buy these little dips right around the volume weighted average price. Again, I'm just kind of anticipating that the trend is going to continue, especially with something like AMC that has a lot of hype, a lot of traders involved, a lot of traders interested in buying it up on strength. And so just buying these little dips to the VWAP and then just kind of covering around the previous high of the day, buying towards the VWAP, covering around the high of the day is usually what I do. And this is what I did this morning with AMC as well.
Well, definitely one to watch as I'm trading in IMAX here. Got a little bit of a piece of IMAX as I saw all three of them kind of moving hand in hand. CNK, AMC, and IMAX. I tell you the truth, I like on the longer term how Cinemark is kind of looking on the daily. But of course, the AMC apes out there definitely are keeping their eyes on that AMC.
Yeah,
We'll see
man.
what happens there if we can kind of keep pushing. I
Right.
think, this is a time where I personally would want to take some trades right now, but with the speech coming out, with so much uncertainty, CPI coming out tomorrow, reopening trades pushing here, SPY kind of sideways on
Right.
on a little bit of a trappy kind of look here, and that's what we've been seeing a lot, right? Is a lot of chop and a lot of kind of trappy moves, even in just the SPY alone. If you take a look at the SPY today, you got some trappy moves in the SPY today where you were in between this kind of range and just bouncing below the VWAP, above the VWAP, below the VWAP, above the VWAP. And that's where you got to be a little bit careful. I love taking VWAP trades. I still take them, John. And that's probably one of the trades that I talk about here often, whether it be VWAP bounce or VWAP fades. But definitely we'll continue to see if these kind of work. I know that they have a tendency of working better in trending markets than non-trending markets. So that's what we're really trying to get back to. Where can we get these swing trades to really kind of continue? We'll see what happens right now in the SPY. Start to see a little bit of a slowdown, but I think, if my man Biden comes on anytime, looks like it just started. The press conference just started. Looks like the CDC is on right now. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely check that on out. I normally would tell you guys not to, but I mean, protect your capital, right? Like always, right? One thing I will not do is try to hurt your capital. And I know that it's important to watch that right now, especially with COVID numbers. So I'd be watching to see what happens. All right. So last thing I want to leave off with is, John, where can they find you and find a little bit more about beginner trading?
Yeah, so we trade on beginner trading on youtube.com/beginner trading. We drop everything from strategy videos, lessons, everything involved in the stock market. We're really interested in it. So again, youtube.com/beginner trading. And I appreciate you having me on, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah, definitely, you guys. I'm going to go ahead up and throw up the channel for you guys in the chat here, guys. If you guys want to go ahead and follow this channel, I'll throw up the link right here if you guys want to go ahead and check it on out. I also know John also does kind of like upload videos, strategy breakdowns. So if you guys want to check those out, I think that's really where you get a lot of his value, is not only necessarily live, but also on those upload strategy breakdowns. And there is tons and tons to watch on beginner trading. So check it on out, guys, if you guys are looking for some content.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you for coming on, John. We'll have you back on maybe next week, Wednesday, right?
Yeah, man. Hey, let me know. I'm definitely down to. And y'all be good luck today. Good luck with the White House meeting. And I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, we'll see you. Appreciate it, John. There you guys have it. Let's keep working here. Let's see what goes on in the market. And can we get this IMAX to kind of move on up? Well, the SPY is kind of being a little bit choppy here. Let's go back towards the 3-chart look here that we had on IMAX. We're looking for it to take out the highs here. I'm going to put AMC on the right-hand side here because that's what we're watching right now. Let's see if we can get this trade, right? We drew it on out for the laggard and how you can kind of follow that. We'll see if this one can really kind of follow through here. What do you think about WTER? I'm pretty sure that's a water play there. I'll take a look at that. There's a thumbs on up. Enjoyed it. Quantum says beginner trading. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you guys have at least know all about it. We'll see what happens here in the market, and if we can get these pushes in IMAX through that 943, that's what I'm looking to see. AMC pushing at that 18. Also would want to see CNK just take out this trend line and let's say get on up here towards the 740, 745s. Let's see if we can get that look. We're looking for that push on up here and AMC kind of lead the way. We'll see if that can continue working there. Wow, dream setup. Hey, always got to have some different, I have different tabs here. I can go 6 charts, 3 charts. We could do option talk. We could look at some of my alerts. Let's see what alerts have been going off today. I got a price below alert on match here. If you take a look here at the 5-minute, it is looking like it just held that pattern there, looking like it wants to continue through. So this is match group. If you want to take a look at that, just got an alert of BBIG. There it is, guys. The big mover, BBIG of the day, ripping through there, through the threes, sideways action through the 340s there. Now really taking on off. 1.1 million shares was the push there at the 317s. You can see how it really took off after that volume came in there. So catching the big mover there, BBIG. Yes, RG, I see it. There you guys have it. My alert went off, and that's why we have alerts set. So hope you guys appreciated that. Big beginner trading in the chat. Definitely check it on out, guys. All right, let's go ahead and we'll see what's going on in there. Can SOPA start moving now? I was also watching this one. This one was a big mover yesterday. So sometimes when you get a parabolic move, take a look to see if another parabolic move starts. This happens often. When you get one, you get another, right? And so BBIG was the one that we just saw rocket off. Let's see if SOPA can start getting moving here. I'll keep an eye out on that one. And Sundial, we're still in, guys. We're just going sideways here and letting this trade work. That one's a smaller position, but we'll see how that one can continue to work there. That's Sundial. Sundial, I would definitely keep watching CGC and Tilray to watch that continue to move. I talked about that in pre-market, how we would watch the industry to go ahead and look at CGC and Sundial. And as you can see, Tilray still leading the way there on day 2 move. All right, Money Mitch, BBIG above 335. Yes, I see you guys. Not a bad move there in BBIG. For me, what I'd be looking for on this, I'd go to the hourly and start looking at that. What are we looking at? We're looking at a deeper time frame bearish pattern that it's trying to get out of. It needs to get above 350s and hold. You can see how we failed last time we got into that consolidation area. So we're looking to see if it can get back through that 350s. To me, this looks like an intermediate bear pattern here on the hourly. And then if you zoom back, what do you get? You get more of a bullish look, right? 1 bottom, 2 bottoms, three bottom action. It's looking good there. You look like you tried to take down back towards that support here and held it really well in the pre-market. Now it's looking well. Now to me, I think it's all about this 340 and 345 area. And that's why you're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in there. I do think there's some overhead selling there. So we'll see if it can get through those levels and get on up through the 350s. All right, let's look at this. I'm looking for price above here. Move above. L Pro was one that we were taking a look at. Let's take a look at this one. I've been watching this one since Monday. That was back here, and we've been continuing on its way up. It's not a bad trade there. L Pro catching from that Monday bid, now getting above that 19. I talked about how important it was to hold 19 today. Look how you just cracked right below it, and now you recovered that 19. I'd look for maybe a pullback to 1915s. Look at a 15-minute chart on this one, and I'd look at a trend line for this to hold, coming on back here towards this area, and then look for the breakout, which was a push above the trend, a throwback, and then an extension. That's what I'd be looking for in L Pro. Let's keep going through some other ones. VLR was one that I wanted to take a look at because it got really great news, but didn't break out on that. It actually traded down on that news, went down towards 4. I talked about how I wanted to see a potential breakdown of 4 and then it recovers and hold 4. So here, let's see if it takes out the high there around, let's say 415s. You could look for a little bit of a pullback towards that $4 to hold, but that's kind of the level that I'd be watching right now. One thing to keep an eye out on is the hourly chart. Look for hourly maybe pullbacks to 405, holding that low of that candle here, which is 395. All right, that's a look on that one. Soap on charcoal says Hex. So we're gonna soup of charcoal. I don't think you want that soup of charcoal. Santa didn't come to town and brought you charcoal. We'll see what happens. Live speech is going on. I see Fauci ouchie right now on White House Government Live, so you guys can take a look at that. Let's take a look at the SPY. How are we doing in the SPY? What are we getting a reaction on? Let's look at the 1 minute. We actually got a quick downturn there, but we'll see if we can recover and just quickly get back above that 456 there. You can see some volume actually came in on that, so just be careful out there, guys. We're paying attention to some trades out there. but we don't want to get caught. Still in this gold trade, guys. I've been in this one. I set a stop at 1978s, and it hasn't wanted to break. So we'll see what happens on this one and if it can continue making moves. We got about 15 minutes left here, guys. Going to get into DJ Hot's time. So you guys throw up those stocks in the chat, and we will keep going here. WTER, I did see that one. I said I was going to talk about it, but I skipped it. Just looks like a cheaper stock. I'd look at the daily. And for me, when I see a stock like this, I'd go even further back. I'd go into the monthly. You're looking at the monthly support here. You got in that downside action. You got to crack through. Now you've seen a couple of wicks there. As long as it can hold $1 on the downside, I don't see this as a bad trade. But like always, you got to see it come back on up here, right? And so I think the first level to watch is a move back up towards, let's say, 159, and then you'll see if it can get to $2 and really change the trend. To me, this has been on a downtrend, reversed all this pop. So you can't really look at that pop too much. This is a brand new trend that it's trying to reverse on out of there. So you got to stick really closely here to see if this is really going to catch that bottom. One thing that does happen on the daily chart, you see what? Rule of three, guys. 1, 2, 3 attempts to break down the lows. I don't mind you going off of that and using it as a risk level now to try to get that push back. Like always, guys, this is all for educational purposes only, not for investment advice. And we can hold positions in the stocks mentioned. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going out there. Smash that like. Where are we at on the like game? I need to go ahead and check here. I'm going to go ahead and see where we're at there. You guys do me the favor. Smash that like. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes today. That's my goal here. We'll see if we can push on up. Looks like we got over 579 people watching right now. So give me a stock that you guys are taking a look at. We got 373 likes. Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys, going to go ahead and take off the lo-fi here. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit of a music change here. I want to go ahead and change it on up for us. Let's do, who are we going to go to today? Let's do a little Collie Buds here. Let's go with that. Let's do Come Around. I think that one's a good one there. Let's do Come Around there. All right, guys, smash the like, guys. If you guys are enjoying the show, I'm going to take some stocks from the chat. I see that EMPH, Pixies being called out. Tilray, we'll take a look at some of those. Like always, guys, smash on up. Let me know if the music gets a little too loud here. It's time to change it on up a little bit. All right, guys, turning it on up here, guys. Give me the likes. Let's see if we can get to 400. I see 393. Let me know if you guys are enjoying the music a little bit. If it gets a little too loud, let me know, because I don't want to blow up your ears, but want to keep it vibing here. Let's go. Jordan says Collie Buds underrated. Yes, definitely. I would say underrated. All right, let's keep it going, guys. What's going on out there? Smash the like. Let's take a look at the SPY and also at the IMAX trade, right? Let's take a look at the trade that we drew out completely here. The three charts that we're drawing out, we're looking for that to push on up through. Let me put the AMC here on the right-hand side. AMC leading up there towards the 1822. I could add on that IMAX trade now and just hold towards the VWAP, but I'm just looking for it to take out the highs there. Let's look for it to just do the pattern here for you guys. That's what it's about, is kind of showing the process of finding the laggard trade here. Laggard trade was the IMAX. What was leading AMC? What was behind that? CNK. And we're going to look to see if we get that continuation in this move. Another move that I still have on, guys, is gold. If the stocks are going to come down, I feel like gold will continue to move on up. And there you guys have it. It is trying to get through that 1990s. I could add here at 1990s, but I'm just going to keep my original entry of 1960 and let this swing trade continue working in gold. We will sell it at the end of the day today if it gets above 20. There you guys have a little spike in gold. You guys can be looking at that on an intraday. If you guys are taking a look at gold on the intraday, I'd be holding down towards, let's say, 83s or 82s here. and you're about a 10-cent risk looking for about a breakout above 20 to maybe give you about 20 cents on the upside. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going out there, guys. We'll see what happens in that speech on that Biden's doing right now. The SPY, let's take a look here. What's happening in the SPY? You have a push down, and then it comes right back to that level of rejects. We'll see if it can get back above that 456.50. That's what I'd point to on the upside. We'll see what happens here. If the SPY crashes, we got to be careful with our trade above. All right, clean Spark earnings tonight, up 8%. Yeah, just be careful with that one. Could be running maybe into the move. All right, Peloton being called out in the chat. Let's take a look at that. All right, Peloton trying to hold the gains here. Not really holding the gains well. I do see a 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down. As long as it holds that as support, for me, it's in a bullish trend. If it breaks 36.78, let's say down past 36.75 on the downside, it could break the pattern and be down at 36 in a hurry. So just keep it on mind that could happen. We'll see if it gets back to the trend line. The trend line is across here. You can take a look there. You had a little wick there near the 37.50s. There was kind of a little fake out on the upside. Look to see if you get a fake out on the downside. It holds VWAP and takes out that 37.50 on the upside. All right, Tesla got a lot of batteries to charge. BTU, yeah, BTU, Coldplay, baby. Not a bad look there. Honestly, if I wanted to take a day trade, this would probably be one. Also, the nice little setup there. Look at the trend line here. A hold of VWAP. I talk about it all the time. Higher lows, holding well there. Rule of 3, up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. Look for this to hold up there by 1348 and see if it could take out the 1350s. We'll see what happens on that one. It's definitely a little bit of a swingy type of stock, but as you can see, it's kind of holding the top side of this price action. So as long as it kind of holds up here in this price zone, we'll be looking in the bullish. Below that, you could look bearish. But for me, I think this is the bullish setup right here. We'll see if it takes out the high and gets through that 1350 on the upside move. And we've been watching it since that 1150 push. You know it. Hey. Can't worry about the haters in life. Got to worry about what you can do out there, guys. So definitely smash the like. I'm going to go ahead and set us up for Benzinga Live coming on up in about 5 minutes. So definitely check that on out, guys. I'm going to go ahead and set up this redirect. Looks like there you go. Looks like they're going to have talk about the Bitcoin heist, the 3 billion Bitcoin heist. Also, Crocodile. Don't know what that is about. Maybe you find out on Benzinga Live. Go ahead and check it on out, guys. All right. Saw a headline: if Russia invades Ukraine, Biden to cut key pipeline, higher price of oil. Yeah, I talked about this, Hex. You could possibly see spike in oil get to 120 a barrel. So to me, I take a look at CVX right now near that VWAP, just bounced off of that level. We'll see what happens on that, but definitely oil trade. You can, if you're trying to do the day trade, look at maybe Gush. But definitely these oil stocks moving well. Let's take a look at my alerts there. Might have some alerts in oil, so I'm taking a look to see if I find something here. FBHS looking good there. Looking around at some of the ones that I have. Kind of, this is a gold play, still looking well. WPM. Pfizer kind of moved on up, but didn't really hold there. Velodyne trying to hold on the 4s there. We'll see what happens on that one. Here's an oil one that I take a look at, HFC. Look for this to kind of reverse back on up. It's in a bearish pattern right now. It needs to be a reversal. Don't want to trade this to the downside right now, but we'll see what happens. It does look like it's trying to crack on the downside, 36.15. But if you see a quick reversal up there towards 36.34, could start pushing back on up. Can you tell us a little bit about your trading journey? How did you learn? Did you have a mentor, and how long did it take for you to be consistently profitable? All right, yeah, I'll definitely get into that right now. I got you. I'll talk a little bit about that. Last one I want to check out is for Glades here, Jemiah. Jemiah is an interesting one. Is pushing on up there today, but has broken down massively. Super oversold this stock, so look for this thing to kind of get a little bit of a reversal. The question is, does it hold this pattern here, this reversal pattern that you're in? I'd look for holds of 950 on the pullbacks. Right now, it looks like it's trying to take out 10. I think this is a trade. Now, the question is, does it keep coming on up? That's where you got to make your own decision about how much you're going to try to ride this trade up. But I think as long as it continues the trend there and keeps kind of this sideways trend, you're still looking well. And it's looking like it wants to take out, let's say, 997 here and get through 10. All right, guys, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit here about my journey. So one thing I'll tell you guys about trading is that I've done it all. I've been on both sides. I've taken some options traded. That's how I first started. I can tell you guys I have a finance major, and with that, I started studying stocks, right? And that's what I wanted to do. So I first started getting into more derivatives. I was taking a derivatives course in college, trying to figure out more and more about options trading. And I was looking at, like resources like Tasty Trade and all around, looking at options, trying to figure it on out. Then I realized, hey, and my professor told me this really early on, is if you don't know how to price options, you probably shouldn't be trading them. So this is a lot to do with the understanding of the Greeks. If you don't understand the Greeks, I would definitely recommend you to do that if you're an options trader. But even if you're not, it's good understanding. Let's keep going. Now, one thing is I moved on from that and went to more in day trading, right? And I did day trading only. And day trading only was kind of that battle between profitability and survival. At first, it was more, can I get into survival mode? And then I was surviving. I wasn't blowing up counts, but I also wasn't making giant leaps and gains also. It seemed to me that I was battling between the price of profitability and break even. And so that was a little bit of a battle for me for a while. I did just strictly day trading for about 2 years there. And then I got to the point where I realized, hey, I'm really good at taking a look at sectors and industry and taking a look at the rotation. That's when I really started dipping my toes into swing trading. And that's really where I found my profitability and my bread and butter is going after these swing trades. As you guys can tell today, had 4 swing trades on that were in the green, 1 or 2 that were in the red this week. So that's where I'm going to be looking at to get my best trades. That's where I can tell you guys that's where my strength is. On day trading, I still have the skills because I took all the time to learn there, learn technicals, and I learned fundamentals in school. I learned a lot about story in kind of the 2020 time, the pandemic. And one thing that we definitely found out was that story could continue to move stocks. So we'll continue to see how these kind of can play into effect. But like always, guys, one thing I tell you guys is learn how to improve your own skill level. So one thing that I did was right now I'm working on even furthering my technical skills. So I'm working on my CMT certification, but like always, you guys can always work on your skills right here on Live Trading with Benzinga. We do have a trading school. We have Mark Petrino, which is a CMT, and that's what he's teaching, more of the technical style. You do have Nick Shaheen if you want to learn some options in the option mentorship. So check that on out, guys, if you guys want to do some education. Like always, I'm going to keep here battling in the journey. Right now, we'll keep battling. We're looking at some stocks out there. I did have IMAX still on here. It's battling. We'll see if it kind of takes out the high there and we finally get that move that we're looking for. Of course, we set up this trade with kind of the setup on AMC and CNK. We'll see if those can continue to lift. Overall market today, let's take a look here. SPY, last little look here. It's kind of trappy right now in the 456. I think above 456.50, you do get a breakout We'll see what happens. Consumer cyclical, our leading sector, right behind that technology. Not many times have you seen these two leading us, and then energy right behind that. So we'll see what happens there. Consumer defensives up 0.16, but essentially from the open, every sector into the green. We'll see if that starts turning around by midday. All right, guys, smash the like. I hope you guys appreciated that and appreciated me talking about my journey. You know, one thing I will try to do is try to be transparent. And that's what I try to be here, guys. That's why I'm here. I'm here to do one thing only, and that's pay it forward to you guys. If you guys have never seen that movie, I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorites. It really got me to understand that, hey, if you have some skills and you build them up, you really have to give back for people to kind of learn what you have learned and maybe help them on their learning curve. That's what this show is really all about. It's about process. So hit that like, and we'll see you on Benzinga Live. Go check out Spencer's big trade. Ask him, what was your big trade? We'll see what happens on Benzinga Live. I'll be there, guys. Hit that like button. Until then, keep it going, guys. We'll see you next time right here on Live Trading with Benzinga.